Sega. Ah, Rome. The eternal. That was terrifying, what I just witnessed. I would not recommend anybody clicking that link. That I've never seen that 80s movie, but it looks very 80s. So 80s it's beyond even me. And I love the 80s. I think the 80s did a lot. Look, the 80s did a lot of stuff right, but holy crap, did they do just as much wrong? Like the hairstyles. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I have the choice between modern, look, modern hairstyles are pretty awful. I think the 80s were better, but holy crap, who thought that was a good idea? It's like the guy who ever started the mullet craze. Why would somebody think that was a good idea? I'll never know. I mean, I don't even know what Howard the Duck is, but man, that was with zero context, that was terrible. I have no idea if that movie is any good or not, but holy crap. Oh man. Howard the Duck? That seems... I mean, whenever I was a kid, I was into Pokemon. Pokemon and Spider-Man. Those were my things, and I could only afford to actually get into one of them. And well, I shouldn't say I could afford. I was able to scrounge enough money to get into one of them. Oh man. Even as an adult, I mean, I know some people that are just really hardcore into comic books and whatnot, and I just don't see it. I just can't get into it. That is true. I cannot argue with that. They definitely did. They definitely did. My mom was one of them. I don't think she's actually changed her hairstyle that much either, now that I think about it. Actually, no, these guys will go here. Oh no, she has. It's not as flamboyant as it used to be. That's not fair. Yeah, it's not as flamboyant as it used to be. Now that I'm remembering properly. Alright, so I gotta fight off catapults, ballista. Now, let's get those guys there as fast as possible. I like how they've got a bunch of pagans protecting Rome. I think that there's a lot of cool stuff that came from the 80s. I think that if you managed to grow up through the 80s, you probably had a pretty good childhood. 80s and 90s. Now, modern day, you're screwed. I'm sorry. There's just I have very little hope for the kids that grow up today. There's way too much stuff at their fingertips. It's too... Ironically, the fact that things have become so easy, I think, is going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a massive problem for them. They're not going to understand how to... Unless they're raised to do it, they're never going to learn many things they should from childhood. Like, you can't get everything that you want. I mean, I remember having to actually wait for stuff, whereas today I don't have to. I don't see any kid waiting for anything, and maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. It just shows how prosperous everything is, but at the same time, it cheapens everything, makes it harder for things to have value, in my opinion. What? No water effects of water rolling off the shield of this really crappy testudo? But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just being a crotchety, mean, old millennial person. It's very possible. I mean, I've been called worse. Let's get these guys in there ASAP. And that's heavy melee infantry, and then medium melee infantry, and I have light melee cavalry. But yeah, no, I mean, I think the 80s did a good job with the music, for the most part. There were some questionable things there, too. But, I mean, for the most part, I think the music was pretty good. Or at the very least, it was enjoyable. But past that, I can't say much for the 80s. Nothing, you know. They had some good stuff, they had some bad stuff, like everybody else, but, I would say this though, around that time period, the fact that you like 12-year-olds weren't becoming like massive multi-million-dollar stars at that point was probably for the best. I approve of that. Because holy crap, watching Fame just absolutely destroy young people is really disheartening. It's really like one of those things where it's like, oof, oof. Alright, let's see here. Cavalry, don't want you to attack those. I want you to run out way over here, and I want you to kill those ballistas. Anyway, how you doing tonight, guys? Started off on a little bit of a tangent here, talking about Howard the Duck. A character from a movie that is beyond me. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, yeah, beat it. Uh-oh. More cavalry. Let's move those guys up there. Alright, so Fokker, I got a question since you're talking to me. What is the best Gundam to watch? In my opinion, it's the classic one, but I want to know what's your favorite. Since you're the Gundam weeb that follows me, I gotta know. I have to know. Alright, let's see here. Y'all still shooting? Y'all are still shooting. Good, good, good. Let's move that up. Let's speed this up. Keep shooting them. There we go. Very good. Very good. Oh crap, I forgot. I have to go take out these guys. I want one of you. Stop setting fire to my stuff, man. Back off. Oof, don't go that way. Man, these guys are still winning. Jeez, okay. Fucker has abandoned me already, and it's not even been 5 minutes. Oh, sorry, it's been 5 minutes. It's been 16 minutes. Get one more volley in them, and then they're done. They should. I agree. I don't even like nachos that much. I'm like a nachos and cheese dude. Like, past that, that's it. And even then, if the cheese has got any spices in them, I'm done. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. But I gotta know, Fokker. I gotta know. What's your what is the best Gundam to watch? I still think the classic is pretty good, despite the second half being super weird. Ooh, don't want to give up my cavalry. Don't want to give up my cavalry. Unicorn. So those are both Universal Century, huh? Those are sequels to the main. Alright, these guys can go out now. Isn't the first one set in like Stardate 0071 or 0073? So it's only like a decade later. Because I think the original is just Mobile Suit Gundam. And then it's 0079, that's what it is. Yeah, there you go. See, this is why I rely on you, man. I don't know these things. Like, there's very, very few animes that I'll get into the deep lore on and like really dig in and actually spend the effort. There's very, very few. I can't even think of anything off the top of my head that I truly researched. I usually just have fun watching. I think the only one that I really can say that I really, really enjoyed, that really got me into it, was the classic and 8th MS Team, which I really, really enjoyed. I thought that was fantastic, which I've said before. But I've not, I think I actually own Stardust Memory. I don't think I've ever seen it. A buddy of mine gave it to me before he moved back to the Philippines with his family. Like, he had a copy, and he literally just goes, "Here, this is my going away present." Like, almost literally, that's what he says. Hey, what's going on, Kurogan? How are you tonight, sir? We're talking Mobile Suit Gundam stuff right now. We're killing time before we start learning about people in history. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be life-changing. Like, you will definitely change your ways after you learn about all the horrible things people do to each other. It's gonna be a good night. It's a good sell point right there. That's my sales pitch. Lots of people are gonna be talked about getting killed. Or sold. Or bargained. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I try. I have to really hide that British accent that I got, you know? I'm kidding. No. I do almost have to swallow my microphone in order to get that voice just right. I have to, like, swallow a stick of butter, too, you know, get that nice, buttery, smooth voice. Alright, let's see here. So let's see. If I remember correctly, I managed to stall everybody, but I also managed to put myself in a position where I can't move forward. Isn't that lovely? Oh, and I'm losing money. Why am I losing money? That's not good. I don't want to be losing money. So hey, Kurogan, how you doing, man? It is nice to always have a new face in our stream. Oh, you think I'm lovely now. Just you wait. Because tonight's is going to be really weird. Tonight's stuff's going to be weird. We're going to talk some weird stuff tonight. About some weird things that happened to me. So, okay, so actually, before we do anything, did anybody read this story about that idiot in LA who decided to set off a bunch of fireworks, like, and blow them all up in the middle of the street? That was awesome, wasn't it? Personally, I approve of this choice, but holy crap, that was stupid. Oh my god. I read it, and I read it again, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's those guys. Oh, man, I love the LAPD sometimes. Not many times, but I love them. I love them. I just can't even with that. It's too stupid. Who would have thought that putting a bunch of explosives... Sorry. I was a little bit too close for that. No. They're brilliant. Dude, no. They're absolutely brilliant, sir. They are good people. They are doing God's work. Who else would definitely throw a bunch of freaking explosives into a confined environment and then set them off? Come on, man. There's only good things that can come from this. Only good things. Oh, man, I now forgot what I was doing. I was so excited about talking about explosives in the middle of the street in LA. Let's take that. Oh man, that was just glorious. I read that and I read it again and I read it again and I was just like, this can't be real. And I think they blew up their truck that they were trying to do it with too, their bomb disposal truck, which I thought was a hilarious idea to begin with. But who knows? Maybe I'm just uncultured that way, and I don't know any better. It's very possible. All right, now I'm just fighting. Whoa. Of course not. Nothing at all will happen to them. But still, I wouldn't want anything to happen to them. I think the best thing that can happen. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. If I did that, I would definitely be arrested. And again, I'm not trying to bring anything political up. I just thought that was really funny. I just thought that was stupidly funny. I mean, come on, man. Like, come on. Come on. They knew better. They knew better. What are fireworks other than a bunch of explosives? They did more damage to themselves than the owner of said fireworks probably ever was going to do. It's fantastic. I have fully embraced the idea that LA is just a third world country. Doesn't mean the people in it are bad, just it's a third world country. I actually thought about that where I live too, because technically you're not supposed to sell or launch fireworks off in a residential area where I live, and I don't think anybody follows that rule, and at least on the 4th of July they don't, and so cops don't even deal with it, they just ignore it. Oof, lots of spears. Ah, Pokey Boys! Pokey Boys, run! Run! Alright, they're not doing anything, I like it. Well, actually, just a statistics monkey here is actually in my state, the majority of the local population are voting specifically in one direction, and the people coming from California are voting in the other direction, which is an interesting statistic. Although I forget the numbers, I forget the exact numbers, but like it's an overwhelming majority of them are not voting for the crap that was in California. Which I'm okay with, but anyway, we're not here to talk politics. We're not here to discuss even politicians. We're just here to discuss video games, weeb stuff, and maybe some horrible things that happened to me and were a result of my own stupidity. So I have a funny story to tell everybody today. It's just awful, and I deserve every bit of ire for it, but I'm going to tell it anyway, because this does not make me look like a good person at all. So if you've followed me, okay, you know what? I'm going to turn my sound down. Oops. Can I turn my... Yeah, there we go. I'm going to turn my music down just a little bit. So one of the things that you will probably know if you followed me for a little while is that I usually have family over at my house a lot, and so they're over quite often. And I've got stuff for their family members, kids, and whatnot to come hang out and have fun. They got toys here, but I also got my YouTube account plugged into my TV downstairs, and that no problem. But it's all logged into my stuff, right? And so one of the things that I have is I recently found this guy that I thought was funny, but he does some pretty let's say racy, but like inappropriate things for children. And the funniest thing happened is because he does anime figurines and he discusses like anime stuff that's really not good for kids. And I was just kind of letting my what do you call it, like my YouTube feed just kind of cycle today, because I was just kind of working and listening to stuff in the background. Let's scoot this forward. And I guess that kind of messed up my YouTube feed, because as soon as that was done, family comes over, and I guess he had popped up, and I guess because he had shown up as to one of my videos, it recommended a bunch of other videos for him to do. And so what ended up happening was that I ended up having him talking about like hentai in front of like a 2-year-old. I was like, oh god dang it. Oh, I felt like a bad person. I am a bad person. That's what makes me a bad person. But no, it was funny because like the way he describes it is also self-deprecating, and it's hilarious. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to just bonk my microphone. But man, it was funny. I felt bad. I got yelled at for it, which I thought was weird, because I'm like, you're in my house. Why are you getting mad at me for it? But whatever.
Ready for battle. Ready for orders.
I just thought I'd share that because it's funny. It's like one of those things that's so embarrassing you just have to share it. Alright, let's see what we got here. The Abdanians. I'm not familiar with the Abdanians.
Ready for battle.
So Kurogan, do you have a favorite anime, or do you watch anime, or are you too a weeb, or are you just silently leaving the door now that you realize that we're weebs?
We hunger for
Pretty sure you're silently leaving the door. Let's see here. I need so where's all my money going? Okay, so you can go away. See, it's good. It's good to know that I haven't scared him off yet. That's good. It's very good. I actually feel better about that. Because I was sitting there and I was like, I'm pretty sure that whoever's watching me now won't be very soon. Oh my god. Yeah, the mom was very unhappy, and of course that stoked a really long conversation about, what are you doing? Do you watch this crap? And I'm like, no. No, I don't. Just don't worry about it. Alright, so let's take this place. Oh, man. So I'll give it a few more minutes, then I'm going to go over my history stuff today. It's going to be... Oh, it's not long, but it's not short either. It's long enough, let's put it that way. And it's about a couple pages. Ooh, severely reduced visibility. I'll take it. That means my guys can get into melee even easier. And I'm going to move them all to this side. And I'm going to make all those filthy barbarians go in first. Because why the hell would I ever send my good Western Auxilia, which is essentially other barbarians, into the fray? Hey, Kurogan, is this your first time being with us on Friday? I'm just curious. Not that I mean to pry or poke at you. I'm just curious. Let's see if I can get these guys in. Oh, geez, they're firing rocks at me. Oh, that's not cool. Stop firing rocks at me, man. Pokey spears. Okay, well that's good, man. So on Fridays, one of the things I do is I actually do history stuff. Like right now, we're kind of doing a little lesson. I say lesson. I hate to call them lessons, but like they're just kind of discussions on the fall of the Western Roman Empire and what caused it. And right now we're in the realm of the Ostrogothic kingdom in Italy. Almost done, though. Actually, after this one, we will only have one more major event to discuss before we are done with this. Because aside from this, porn costed. Well, you aren't 100% wrong, but you're not 100% right. No, not strategy. This isn't strategy. This is actual history. So, like, we're discussing, like, actual events that happened. So, like, so at this point in time that we're discussing is Theodoric the Great tonight. See, Marian is before this, though. We haven't gotten to that. So I actually started this as kind of like I enjoy this, and people seem to enjoy listening to me talk about it, or at least I seem to enjoy talking about it enough to where nobody stopped me. Oh man, I'm going to lose so many guys here just because I'm kind of talking and doing this. Yeah, that's way before here. I need you guys to go poke people. Like, run. Go poke people. Go. But yeah, no, we're discussing the Great Migrations and the eventual fall of the Western Roman Empire and when it actually fell versus when people say it fell. So... Oh, darn you, fucker. Darn you. And your darn mute button. But I do find it interesting as to what happened and like why it happened. And really a lot of it is self-inflicted. It's really weird to me that you just watch an empire that just simply gave up on itself. I mean, but maybe... What, Felix? What do you want? Sorry, my cat Felix here is, well, he did lots of stupid stuff. What, Felix? Oh my gosh, what is your deal tonight? Leave me alone, dude. My cat is, for some reason wanting my attention. He's usually asleep by now, but I guess tonight he doesn't want to sleep. Well, I mean, that was long before then, though. I mean, you could argue that happened under the Republic. The fact that they allowed a military dictator... Oh, crap. I didn't let my Pokey boys get where they needed to be. Ah, god dang it. Ugh, these guys are gonna get slaughtered. I need to move them back and charge these guys up here. Another fellow Roman historian. I love it. See, the one... then I have to ask you a question then. Since you're an Attila fan, how pissed off do you get on a scale of 1 to 10 when you see... Nope. There you go. That being a testudo. I gotta know. On a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed off does this make you? Just how pissed off does this make you? That's not a testudo. That's just barely a testudo. There's way too many gaps. It's awful. Oh, they are in an incline. Okay, so that doesn't... That kind of counts, but not really. Look at that. Look at that. Just... It's awful. Just... Ugh. Ugh. Alright, Pokey Boys. You're going in. I don't know about that. I appreciate I appreciate it, but I don't know about that. I think I like Shogun 2. Shogun 2 is probably my favorite in regards to gameplay, aesthetics, time period. The only thing I don't like about it is the method to get units, but at the same time, because units are very small, like they're not there's only so many choices of units. I think it's probably best that you have to build like one building for every unit you want. It's ridiculous, but it kind of makes sense. I think Attila had a lot going for it, but I think that it also had a lot of the same problems that I would argue are existing in Rome 2. But it's not a bad game. It's definitely better than the newer ones by far. And even then, visually, I don't even dislike the way the units look. I like them. It's just that they don't function the same way as they did in the originals, like Rome and just Rome and Medieval 2. Like, there's no... I think they brought back physics in this game partially, like for cavalry, but even then, it's not the same. Not to crap on a game you enjoy or anything like that. I like to analyze. I like to look through stuff, which is why I love history, because I like to see how screwed everybody is. I think the best Total War is probably, in my opinion, Shogun 2, followed by Rome, followed by Medieval, and then Attila's probably up in the top 5, though. Absolutely. Attila's top 5. I'm gonna occupy my Pax Augusta. Get my land back. These filthy pagans keep taking my stuff. Oh, and we're playing this legit. We're not doing anything like switching over to paganism or anything. Rome 2 had a lot of promise, and what they delivered was not what they promised, and that was my issue. And I pre-ordered the darn thing. I played it from day one, and I absolutely... I played it, but the biggest issue is when it launched, there were lots of little things about it that I did not like. So, one of the things about Rome 2 that really, really pissed me off, and I very seldomly, like, I'll take it back, seldomly use that word. I use that word a lot, but I truly don't care that much for it. But the mechanic for having, like, victory points on the map, even if you wipe the map and you win, you will still lose if the enemy still holds the victory points. What, Felix? What do you want? Oh my gosh. You're such a weird kid. Where's weird kid? Weird cat. Oh man. Oh dude, you are so lucky. I actually had to... I think I played through... let's see, how far did I get? I actually made it pretty far in my first campaign, which I still have saved. And... I mean... everything was broken. I think at one point I was pulling in over 300,000 gold per turn. What, Felix? What is your deal? Come on, bud. You know what I do at night. You never bother me, except for right now. What do you want? You want pets? Okay, here's some pets. There we go. Sorry about that. Apparently my cat decided that even though he got my attention most of the day today and he was able to sit in my lap, it wasn't enough. But and the Emperor Edition added some really cool stuff. I think that the triumvirate between Antony, Lepidus, and Augustus was really cool. The problem that I think I had with it was it was really just one giant free-for-all with only Romans, and I think that's what kind of made it out for me. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was like meh. All right, I need to clear up some money. That's what I need to do. Ooh, actually, Kurogan, as a Total War fan, I have to ask, what do you think of Total War Warhammer 3? What do you think it's gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad? What is it gonna be? I'm gonna refrain from my opinion since you're new. I don't wanna give it away, but I'm just curious. I wanna know. Malacca. Because I'm also a Warhammer fan, but I just wanna know. I gotta know. See, part of me wants to take this place, but I also don't know if I'll have the numbers. How long is this gonna take? 3 turns. I'm not gonna wait 3 turns.
None will escape. Lay siege
All right.
to the settlement.
Siege.
Ready for battle.
Move you here.
To victory!
Ah, there we go. That's what I want to see. And you have heavily wounded troopers. And how long will it take for me to see this? 8 turns. Good freaking lord. Okay. I only have one of those. Let's build one of these. Let's build one of these. And let's build 2 of these. Even though their walls are pretty much destroyed.
Let them cower like kenneled dogs.
Can I raid? No. Well, I can, but it's kind of useless. And when we take Bertigala back, I'll get some more of my money back.
Ready for orders.
And let's move you all the way up. Nope. Alright, to run. Got a lot of cavalry in there. Lots and lots and lots of cavalry. Fokker just recommends the way to win this game is to take out the Gundam Wing stuff and just install a bunch of mods and murder everybody. I'm not against it, but I thought it felt like I was it would be too cheesy. No, it really isn't, and you can kind of tell that with. It's one of the reasons why I don't like the health bar system, and even in this game, they have it. I don't like the health bar system. I'd rather go back to the classic Total War experience where you had one man, one hit point, and that hit point is determined by, or whether you're hit or not is determined by armor rating, skill, that kind of stuff. Like, did you ever play Shogun 1? I know I'm kind of like asking questions and then just running around. Alright, I think I'm still low on money, but it's better than nothing. Wow, I spend a lot of money per turn. Anyway, so in Shogun 1, there was a... Oops, nope. Oh, I do have some mods turned on, but nothing like horrendously changing. Okay, so back in the day, in the before times, just to kind of show my age, I did play Shogun 1 very briefly. A friend of mine had it whenever I was younger. Let me see here. I want more public order, and I want -5 corruption. Give me that sweet, sweet money. And there was a unit in there called Kensei, and it was essentially what evolved into like the single mass units. And a Kensei unit was just a soldier. It was just a single soldier. But he had all the same rules. He just had horrendously high armor, horrendously high attack, and I forget one other ability or one other kind of feature. But he had all the same restraints and constraints as everybody else. And so you could kill him in combat, in melee, but he would massacre infantry all by himself. The thing is that if you got him at ranged, he was a dead man. Like, even a small little ninja star would kill him. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, they didn't stick with it too much, because of course a single entity units, like you're saying, aren't that great. But I appreciated it, because it was an idea that was basically like, hey, this is kind of a meme thing. You could build an army of them, but the thing is, they weren't overpowered if you knew how to fight them. You just had to know to get them into ranged. Okay, I'm not gonna bother fighting this. It's just, it's 2 archers and a commander. But that was the introduction to single entity units that I'm aware of in the Total War series, and I'm not against it. I didn't dislike it. I just wish that it was not what it was. Or at least I wish it was not what it was now. I'm fine with hero units. I'm totally cool with that, but they need to have the same rules as everybody else, and every unit should only have 1 hit point. It needs to run off the old is it Warscape engine, or is that the current one? You know, I think it's the Total War engine, and now it's the Warscape engine. The idea for the Warscape, again, if I'm remembering correctly, the Warscape engine was supposed to be horrendously moddable, and it is, but they cut a lot of it out. Like, they still don't let people utilize it fully, apparently. I did not know this until the other day. Alright, so I need to put you boys right y'all. But you're not missing too much. I mean, Shogun 1 was pretty good, but again, it was still early on. It was still infancy for Total War. Ah, the good old days, though. The good old days. Okay, there we go. I don't even know. Does Steam even have Shogun 1 anymore? Like, does that even exist? And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know. I've only seen Shogun 2, which, by the way, Creative Assembly wants to ignore. I don't know why. Shogun 2 is amazing. It's a fantastic game. Also, some really cool historical stuff. And Fall of the Samurai. Oh my gosh, Fall of the Samurai is fantastic. I mean, you can't beat it with many. Oh, sorry, David. You can't beat it with some things. I think I have to have 1 mod installed, and that's to increase my income by 15%. Otherwise, I just can't do it. I always fail. I'm a bad person. How far can you shoot? Okay, you're good. Come at me, bro. Ah, look at that. Shield wall with round shields. And a giant freaking gap right here. That's exactly what you want. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh.
It's an ambush.
They have onagers. I did not know that. Jeez. That was kind of weird. That sucks for that guy. Hope everybody else witnessed that, because that was just, I mean, that was a thin red mist. Wow. It was a thin red mist moment. Wait, why are you blocked? How are you blocked? Anyway, soon after this, we'll get started on the historical stuff. And we'll discuss all the wonderful history that goes on with the Ostrogoths. Because fun. They don't last long. Like everybody before them, they don't last long. Let's skip forward a little bit. Oh my gosh, okay, I need to at least break these guys off. If I'm going to lose cavalry, I might as well take out the onagers. Yeah, these guys are done. There's no way I'm winning that fight.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Crap. Come on, take him out. There we go. Very good. It's fine, you can run away. You were there to just essentially be a block.
Our men have rallied.
Very good. Yeah, I think I saw Total War Troy, and I immediately was like, I'm not into it. And Total War Warhammer, just an FYI. So back to my main point is I actually love Warhammer. I really do. Even though the company doesn't like its own franchise, I actually do. The problem with it is that I don't know what the hell they're doing with it anymore. Even the science fiction stuff, I'm like, I have no idea where you're taking this, and it's really weird. I'm not against it. I just don't know what the hell to do with it. But Total War Warhammer is one of those games that when it first came out, I was so excited. I was so excited. I actually pre-ordered it, which I never do. And I keep telling people that are on this channel, I was like, dude, I don't ever pre-order jack. But I love it. I loved Total War Warhammer 1 until I started to see all the warts that were on it. And I was like, oh. No, don't break, no. No! Crud. That's gonna make this more difficult. I did not expect that. You guys gotta go. No, you're not. That's the exact problem. When I first played it, I played it as the vampire counts because I love the vampire counts. I love the lore behind it, and I love the way that they play, and they're super cheesy. They're absolutely utterly cheesy, and they're great. I love them. The problem is that once I played as the vampire counts, which I thought was really cool, it soon devolved from there. And I realized a few things that they had just, whether from laziness or a lack of care, they just didn't do very good with it. One of the biggest issues I had was I noticed that, like, the Empire, whenever they would shoot my guys with their guns, they would never reload their guns. Like, they're small things for me. Now, they're tiny things in reality. At least that one's one of them. But it definitely breaks, in my opinion, the love and the effort. You know, if you fire a gun in Shogun 2, they have to then fall out of line, reload their weapon, fall back into line, fire the weapon. In Warhammer, they don't. It's very arcadey. That's the issue I have with it. There is no tactical element to Total War Warhammer. There is just, you have one mob of guys, throw mob of guys at other mob of guys, and hope that you win. It really is. I think so. I mean, I've never developed one. I've always been fascinated with it, and I try to learn whenever I can from developers just to see what goes on in their head. But yeah, if you don't love what you're doing or you don't have a love for your franchise, it's going to die. You're not going to be able to do much with it. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't, like, churn out crappy stuff. Look at Assassin's Creed. I mean, Assassin's Creed, to me, has been dead since the end of 2. Well, the trilogy for 2. But even then, those were starting to die then, too. It's because they get lazy. They get bored. And I think that one of the things that Total War has been or the Creative Assembly has been trying to do under Sega is create a game that is appealing to everyone. And I understand that want and desire, but they start removing things that make the game what it was. You know, it stops being Total War and it evolves under something else, and it's no longer the thing that you originally played. That's my issue. And this suffers from that same problem. It's the same problem. It's just not nearly as prevalent in this one as it is in Total War Warhammer. Like doom stacking, like that's prevalent everywhere. Unless you've got a full stack of guys, don't bother. I mean, just don't bother. Whereas in Total War Rome 2, if you had a full stack of guys, maybe you had one. Maybe. And at the very late game, you'd have a whole bunch of them. But having a full stack of guys is suicide. Are you raiding my villages? Why are you raiding my villages? Are you the Subies? No, you're the Visigoths, aren't you? Yeah, you're the Visigoths. Alright, let's see here. What do we got? I need you to attack Carthago. Let's see what we got. Still, just got a long way to go for that. I don't even know why I check. Tarentum. Got a lot of guys there, so they should be safe for the most part. But, wow, negative 76 food. Good lord. Okay. How much money do you bring in? 956. Alright, whatever that was. That was weird. I don't know if y'all heard that. I just heard, like, popping. I was like, what the hell was that? And I thought it was my headphones. Like, oh, maybe some audio's messed up. Like, no, there's something going on in the room. And I'm, like, looking around going, alright, what was that? I don't see anything. I'm haunted. That's not good. Octoduram. Nope. And let's move you up here. What you got? Argenturatum. Oh. Oh. No. Probably not taking that. Nope. Not without a full stack, I'm not. It's just so tiring. The never-ending waves upon waves upon waves of rebellions. I'm pretty sure Rome will fall, regardless of what I do, but I can at least try my best to keep it from doing so. I still gotta defeat my rebels. Let's see here. Can I don't want to fight any of y'all because it's just y'all are gonna come after me regardless. I don't want to waste a bunch of guys outside of the walls. Plus, who wants to fight a field battle? Field battles are boring, and that was another thing. I don't know about you, man, but siege battles are what makes a Total War game, and the siege battles in Total War Warhammer were awful. They're just awful. And that was one of the things that Rome 1 and Medieval 2 did really well was siege battles. Like, every city was a siege. It wasn't these, okay, town, major city. It was every city was a major city. So you had to actually fight for every city. It wasn't just, oh, well, I'm just going to run this army over here, knock their 2 provinces out and call it a day. It definitely speeds up the gameplay, though. That's the part that makes Rome 2 so easy. Is you don't have to worry about fighting cities. You just have to fight villages. Now, you can definitely upgrade those villages and make them tougher, but they're not defendable the same way as, like, you know, the major cities are. These are much harder to fight in, which is what I like. Whereas, like, these guys, there's nothing except for tight streets, which, again, is good. That's definitely a defensive mechanism, but it's not good enough. Alright, let's see here. I'm just now clicking around and just checking on things, so let's just go ahead and end my turn. Oh, I've got unused skills. I'm trying to play this without losing the Christian bonus. The Christianity stuff. I'm trying to play like a real, like the actual Western Roman Empire. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's see. Public order penalties. I'll look at those. I don't know which ones have public order penalties, though. Give me that. Because I don't think any of them do. Except for the ones that make me money. Facts. Give me that. Give me that. Oh, whoops. Didn't even upgrade them. Let's see here. It's for you, Mr. General Man, General Face. Let's see. Well, I don't want to get rid of my gold. That's money. I don't want to get rid of my food. That's money and food. These may cost me money, but I want to try and maintain the Latin Christianity. So I'm trying to play that way. Although I realize if I knock down all my churches and then flip my religion. It is. It is. But I can reduce that. There is a way to reduce that in the long run. But yeah, these things are definitely money soakers. But yeah, I know that if you knock down all the churches, and then as time goes on, you can go here, and then, is it right here? Yeah, you can convert, and that really helps it a lot, but I'm trying my best to maintain that. Anyway, let's see here. Really? I didn't know that. Well, I'll give it. You know what? Let's. And it's not doing me any good. Might as well roll some dice. But yeah, I thought the greater your religious discontent, the worse. So like the lack of churches, I thought just made it worse. Because I know that like where the was it? There was one place that was just, oh hell no, I'm not making peace with Africa. This is my area, thank you very much. And I destroyed the Vandals so they couldn't get it. Oh man, I'm gonna do like a bunch of sieges this next. Yep, here we go. A lot of these are just gonna be me sitting idle and just staring at a screen. I didn't know you could keep the Christianity stuff. See, look at that. I'm learning stuff every day. I know, man. I'm more than there's a reason why one of the tags is backseating, man. I'm not going to pretend like I know how to play this game in and out. I enjoy it, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm an expert at it. Alright, so let's see here. First things first, let's put a bunch of speary boys right there. And form them up. Next, let's put a bunch of archery boys. We need long pokey boys. Move you guys outside the walls. But I don't have Stonehenge because that's in England, so we're good there. I've already lost England. If you can hold on to England in this game without like some ridiculous method, I would be glad to hear it because I've never done it. Maybe except for really just hardcore focusing on military stuff, which is actually my biggest issue, is that early on what I did is I actually I tore down a lot of the buildings that were sucking up food, and I converted all my settlements to level 1, and then I focused on building my economy as best as I could, and then I didn't focus on my military so much, so I actually decreased my military presence and consolidated my armies, which actually worked really, really well in the beginning. And then about midway through the game, or midway through this playthrough, it started backfiring because then I had a bunch of different rebellions going on. Alright, let's see here. Whoa. Ugh. Such a bad... oh my god, it's causing me pain. It's not fair. How did they get this right in the first Rome game and then screw it up everywhere else? Including the Three Kingdoms stuff. Did they really turn the barbarians against each other, or were they ever just pissed off at each other to begin with? I mean, look, come on, let's be real. Anyway, so since right now we're kind of just going to be chilling out for a little bit, we're going to talk about our history stuff tonight. We're going to talk about our history stuff. So last we left off, we had finished oh, damn, direct hit. Okay, that was nasty. How many did I lose? 4. That wasn't that bad. But jeez, oh, look at that. Look at that. Ugh, pieces. There's bits. I can throw that on my SpaghettiOs and have some meat in there. Sorry, inappropriate. Anyway, moving on. So last we left off, Odoacer had been overthrown and then murdered by Theodoric, who is now dubbed Theodoric the Great. And thanks to that, he now owns the entire Italian peninsula and the kingdom. which has then birthed the first Ostrogothic kingdom in Italy. Oh my gosh. Now, one of the cool things about that is that, ironically, even though the Western Roman Empire had always been struggling for money, under Odoacer, the actual empire started growing and getting money. So it was actually relatively wealthy again under Odoacer, relatively speaking, compared to where it was anyway. But, even though he had won it from Odoacer, he's still a vassal to the Eastern Roman Emperor. So he can't do anything he wants to. So, there we go. That's what happens whenever you... Oh, yes, perfect. Run this way. Run this way. Run all your people right here. I want everybody charging my Pokeboys. Now, so Theodoric actually maintained everything that Odoacer had done, including the establishment of separate law between the Goths and the Romans. So this is an interesting little fun fact, is that Romans were ruled by Roman law, the Goths were ruled by Gothic law. And the only way this really worked is whenever the Goths stayed away from the Romans. Interesting fun fact. But he also couldn't create laws. He could only enforce currently existing law under Roman law, and he could only look at law that was basically being made by the Senate, which wasn't that much, because the Senate, as we've talked about before, is essentially useless at this point. But they were really good at taking money, though. So that's always good, right? I mean, we have to have somebody take all the money. Oh, crud, there's more of them. Oh, jeez. Crud. There's more of them. So even if I win the first fight, I'm going to have another fight right on my doorstep. This is going to hurt. Well, might as well get him inside. And are you going to break these walls down? I don't think you will. I'll be fine. Alright, back to what we were talking about. Where was I? Right, so one of the ways that actually he managed to keep the Romans and the Goths from trying to kill each other was that he physically separated them. So the Romans pretty much got all of Italy. The Goths got like some smaller sections in northern Italy, with the exception of his, royal guard and his men in Ravenna. Another one was by keeping Romans in civic positions, but all the military positions were held by the Goths, for obvious reasons, right? But just as all recent rulers of the West, there was always an existing problem on the horizon. The Franks had been expanding their territory into Gaul, pushing out the Visigoths. Excuse me. Of course, as soon as I start talking about history, my throat dries out. Because why the hell would I want to have... why would I want to be able to speak, right? Oh, and the Vandals, being their charming selves, were continuing their time-honored tradition of being really pains in the ass. So Theodoric needed to establish himself in his kingdom, but ensure its success in the long run. Oh, come on, give me... Aw, you ran away so easy. Don't do that. In the past, emperors had actually tried to reclaim lost territory, and we all kind of know how all that worked. It failed miserably every single time. And he knew that. Even though Theodoric didn't know how to read or write or anything like that, he wasn't an idiot. And so he understood that he couldn't just go conquering people. So invading territory wasn't really an option. History shows, as we said, doesn't really show anything. It doesn't really show that's any use. So he'd use the time-honored tradition of handing out waifus to all of his enemies and his potential allies. So, first thing he did, after valiantly defeating Odoacer at a dinner party, was to make sure the Franks in the north wouldn't bother him anymore. Naturally, he married the sister of the Frankish king, Clovis I, he married his sister to the Frankish King Clovis I. To Sigismund of the Burgundians, he sent his daughter Ostrogotha, because names were clearly creative back then. And Alaric II of the Visigoths, he sent his other daughter, Theodogia. It's a weird name. Theodogotha. Theodogothi. I don't even know. It's just a weird name. We're never talking about it again, so it's fine. Are y'all coming this way? Okay, hold up. They're gonna hold for a little bit, but my pokey boys probably aren't gonna be able to hold them off forever. Oof. 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 Look at that. Look at that. Just getting pushed back so hard. Yeah, Alaric II to the Visigoths, he sent his other daughter Theodogotha. There we go. But the Vandals, as cuddly as they are, deserve their own delicious Gothic waifu, right? I mean, come on, everybody else got one. Are y'all gonna reform or not? There we go. I was like, all right, come on. All right, now who's left? Sorry, I hit my microphone again. So, because the Vandals are so special and they have this lovely reputation for being awful, awful, awful people, Thrasimund married Theodoric's sister, Amalfrida, and had a massive dowry accompanied by 5,000 guards. Now, I mean, you know, the Vandals didn't have like a really nasty reputation for being pirates or anything, so I can't imagine why they would actually need a giant freaking guard, like 5,000 men to guard the dowry. But, you know, whatever, details. Wow, they broke real fast. Holy crap. They just didn't even hit me and they ran away. Theodoric believed that by offering his lovely women to the rest of those so-called barbarian kingdoms, they would get along better. He also may or may not have wanted influence all over all the other kingdoms, but that's details. Most of these ended up taking place in the late 490s. It's kind of important because this is where stuff starts to kind of go downhill everywhere. And I mean everywhere, again. So I know it's been on a downhill trend since we started this entire process, but it just gets worse. Because nobody's plans ever really come to any good. By 507, Alaric II was dead, so like a decade after he got married, fighting a war with the Franks. Well, this whole thing about making peace and hoping the kingdoms stop killing each other, that didn't even last a decade. They started fighting almost immediately. Theodoric invaded Gaul and pushed the Franks out of Visigothic territory. Bad news for the Franks, but good old boy Teddy here just became the proud owner of all the Visigothic territory since his grandson Amalric and rightful heir to the Visigoths was an infant. So he essentially became the tenant of all Visigothic and Ostrogothic territory, just like that. Isn't that nice? It's funny how that works. There's actually one other daughter that I didn't really bring up just yet. It's kind of important. I really didn't know where to throw it into the list. But he did marry another one of his daughter to a Ostrogothic noble named Eutharic. There's not much to say other than they had two children, Athelric and Matacintha, which will never come up again until the very end. Now, something really spicy is about to happen in history, and it's really messed up. Like, we're talking, what do you want to call it? Like, Shakespearean levels of messed up in the head. But, so Sigismund of the Burgundians had a son named Sigaric. Sigaric's mother had died previously, and his stepmother didn't really seem to like him all that much. Now, this is the grandson of Theodoric, so this is a political problem that can be ignored even if it isn't a great one to deal with, however. In 517, his stepmother shows up to a feast in his dead mother's clothes. For some reason, this seemed to bother Sigaric.
The enemy are losing their advantage.
You mean the stunning and brave Caitlyn Jenner. I will not allow the stunning and brave Caitlyn Jenner to be so just disgustingly misrepresented on my channel. All right, this is a place of inclusivity and loving and caring nature. Okay, it does not matter that she ran somebody over before she got transitioned. Stunning, stunning. Anyway, look, it takes a lot of bravery to run down an old woman with a car, okay, and then to admit it on TV, and then to get off scot-free. That takes a lot of bravery, okay. Back to what we were talking about, though. So Sigaric's stepmom shows up to a feast in Sigaric's dead mother's clothes. Now, you can imagine this didn't sit well with Sigaric at all. This didn't sit well with Sigaric at all. He was very unhappy, and he voiced that loudly in front of everybody. And because back then the law said that basically if that happened, that the clothes and everything else would go to her daughter, which she had. The problem is, wife didn't like her, and the wife didn't like him either. So she decided to take all that stuff for herself, without the knowledge of Sigaric and his sister. I wonder if that'll come back to bite us in any way, shape, or form. So the new queen didn't like being called out on her bullcrap, as most queens probably don't. And so the queen manages to convince Sigismund that Sigaric is going to kill him and his grandfather Theodoric and take both of their thrones. For some reason, this works. I don't know how, and I don't know why. I tried my best to find actual, like, accounts of this, aside from what just basic notations were made. I have no idea how she managed to pull that off. I don't even know how she managed to pull off the next part, except for nagging him to death. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. That's the only way I can think that this would work, is if this lady just nagged her husband so bad that he was just like, woman, shut up. I'll do anything to make you stop. I'll let that run. So as I said, for some reason this works, and I don't know why he chose to do it this way, but essentially he waited and he told Sigaric's friends to get him really drunk, and once he was drunk, they were to drown him in a well. I can't even with that. Like, I've almost drowned before, like on multiple occasions. It's probably the most horrifying way to go. Like, I mean, you want to talk about being terrified for the rest of your life. Like, I hate, drowning is terrifying to me. I can't imagine submitting your son to it. I wouldn't drown my worst enemy. I can't imagine doing it to a blood relative, especially my own kid. Especially if they're old enough to, like, defend themselves. Holy crap. Like, no, I don't want him to fight back. Just, you know, I just want him to die. So just drown him when he's really drunk. You can imagine that the grandfather, big teddy bear that we know and love, who murdered his fellow king just a few years ago at a dinner party, is a little upset by this. It's almost as if he seems upset the fact that, you know, Sigaric murdered his grandson in cold blood for no reason, but because his wife nagged him about it over clothes. You gotta be kidding me. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I have TikTok nowadays, man. So this also pretty much makes everybody stop what they're doing in the world around them. So the way the Burgundians were, oh crud, I should have, well, I guess I can't show it now. But the Burgundians' kingdom is stuck between the Frankish kingdom, the Visigothic kingdom, and the Ostrogothic kingdom. They're smack dab in the middle, and they're one of the smallest. But literally everyone, despite not liking each other, literally all stopped what they were doing and were like, what the hell did you, what? What are you doing, man? That's not cool. And they all start preparing to go to war with the Burgundians. You can imagine this may have upset the Burgundians, and this came as a Pikachu face surprise for the Queen, who was like, "What do you mean they're gonna kill us all?" But for some reason, murdering your own flesh and blood, especially the guy who just made a bunch of marital alliances with everybody around him, you can imagine this had kind of an impact. It's fantastic. Only good things can happen from this. But before Theodoric can invade, the Franks do it, and in 523, they kill Sigismund by beheading and then tossing him down a well. I wonder why they wanted to do that. And the Queen and her children were also killed. So, I mean, you know, everybody got their just desserts, I guess, except for the Queen's kids, though I'm going to go on a limb and assume they were not very fond of Sigurek and his sister. I actually couldn't find out what happened to his sister. My first response is maybe she got married off or something, but if he was ballsy enough to kill his son, I can only imagine that what he would have done to the daughter. So who knows? The same year, Thrasimund of the Vandals had died, and his son Hilderic was now. His son Hilderic was not a fan of Arian teaching and favored the Catholic Christians. This angered Almafrida, his wife, and for this, Hilderic had her killed. But not only her entire bodyguard, her entire retinue. So her handmaidens, everybody. Everybody died. The lovely plan of Theodoric is actually coming to a really grinding halt. And the Eastern Roman Empire is not happy with the way this is working either. Alright, let's see what we got here. Maybe this guy's out here. And it's at this point that our spider named Justinian starts whispering into his uncle's ear that maybe they should start looking at taking back all that land they lost. You know? Look at all that land they lost over there, man. They shouldn't be having that. There's a bunch of barbarians over there, and look at them. They can't even keep their own families in line, dude. They're just killing each other. So, once again, the West is falling back into chaos, and just in time, too, because in 526, before Theodoric could attempt to invade the Vandals, he died of dysentery. Isn't that nice? This left Athalaric, that guy we heard about once before this, who is the son of Eutharic and one of his daughters, the rightful heir at the ripe old age of 10. His mother, Amalasuntha, there we go, reigned as regent until he would take the throne. The problem is that he died in 534 at the age of 17, or 18 quite possibly, due to his constant drinking and whoring. Who would have thought that constantly drinking and whoring was bad for you? I mean, personally, I make sure my whores are, only of the highest caliber. Waka waka waka. So, cue Theodahad's entrance, the nephew of Theodoric through his mother Amalfrida. He is now the king of the Ostrogoths. In 535, he had Amalsuntha imprisoned. During her imprisonment, she was just assassinated. I wonder who caused that. This event would be the last straw for the now ruling Emperor Justinian I, who had been wanting to basically reclaim the lost empire for now years. And so, with the death of Amalsuntha, the Gothic Wars begin. And we're going to cut it off there, and we'll pick it up next week. Because holy do I have like a bunch of material to go over for the Gothic Wars. I haven't finished it, but there's so much that I might just have to do a back-to-back-to-back like part of it. Just there's this is the meat and potatoes of the last breath of the Western Roman Empire. The Gothic Wars is, in my opinion, the very ending of the Western Roman Empire. Because right now, it's at least under the control, to some extent, of the East, to an extent. Even if it's only by name only, they at least have some connection to it. But the Gothic Wars is what finishes that off. It's really, and because it's actually got a historian with the general, it's actually relatively well documented. And so I can actually go into a lot more detail in the Gothic Wars than I did in any of the other wars that we did. Even with Stilicho, e15, where they have decent historical records, which I would say, maybe decent's not the right word. They had okay historical documentation, but the Eastern Roman Empire, their stuff's well more documented because they're not constantly, well, they are constantly in civil war, but they're not constantly collapsing, whereas the West is in a constant state of collapse. So I'm like, what? I'm in, jeez, how much do I have? Yeah, I've got a small book so far of just little notes, just of, hey, this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And it just escalates and escalates and escalates and escalates. And there's a lot of intrigue in there, too. I really, really enjoyed reading about it. I even learned about the fact that the Eastern Roman Empire had to deal with a sea monster. A real one. And I was like, sea monster's bullcrap. I'm like, no, this thing's real. Even the historian's like, no, I saw it. It's big. Oh, man, it's really cool. So I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute, because it's one of those things that when you read it, you go, what? It's not. Sea monsters don't exist. It's not. They're not a thing. That's not real. And you'd be right to an extent. But oh yay! Oh, let's zoom in. Let's see how this is going. Oh, not looking good for these. Oh, there they go. Look at that. They broke. But yeah, right after this is. Oh, I guess not right after this. I have to fight my battles first. Let's kill off the general though. But the, I forget what the strait is called, but it's the strait where Constantinople sat. It's, I think, what cuts Turkey. No, not cuts Turkey. It's right next to Turkey. My drink is starting to affect my speech. Man. Let's kill all them. If some of these are going to be... Oh, crap. This is... Wait, really? You've got that many guys? Jeez. Okay, well, let's fight it. Hey, this is a strait. Is it the Balkans? I don't even know. It's like that little... It's that little mouth that opens up. Oh, crap. You know what? Let me do some real quick here. I'm going to tab out real quick. Where can I find it? It's right. Is it here? No. Is it right here? Here it is. Yeah, there it is. Oh, I should probably show you what I'm looking at. Hold up. Alright. So, Italy, Greece, Istanbul, it's right here. This strait right here. But it was called something else back then. But it's like right along here. And then also down here. And so what it would do is there's this massive, massive whale that would come through here. Specifically through here. And when they say massive, they mean like it was so big that what the thing would do is you'd have fishermen that would fish all along here, as well as, you know, seek passage back and forth, right? What they, I think it was right here. It's either right there or it's down here, one of the two. I can't remember which. Because I know it was, this is too far up here, but it's somewhere right in here. Anyway, what they would do is the ships would go out and they'd go fishing, right? And this massive F-off whale thing would essentially wait for all these humans to start gathering up a bunch of fish for it. And the whale was so big that it would literally just tear ships apart to get to the food. Like, that's how big the darn thing was. And it would sink about 4 or 5 ships a month. Now, you know, oh, 4 or 5 ships out of hundreds isn't that much. And it's like, yeah, but it starts racking up after a while. But the thing is, it wasn't consistently there either. So it would disappear for decades. Some people wouldn't even see it in their lifetime. That's the crazy part. So there was, according to Procopius, the what do you want to call him? Like the historian at the time, he was literally like, "Oh, wow, that thing exists," and I saw it. But apparently one day, it just ran ashore. I think it was hunting down one of the boats, and it just ran aground. And the townspeople were so astonished by it, they were too scared to go up to it at first. And then the first thing they did when they got their courage was to basically just go and tear it to shreds. They literally cut it apart while it was still alive, and it fed like it and the surrounding towns for like 2 months. But they literally stripped the darn thing bare because they hated it so much. But the way the whale was, the way they described it was that basically when you saw it in the water, you didn't see anything else. It was insanely large. And again, I you know, whenever I hear, you know, if you know, whale stories or fish stories, I'm like, yeah. But even the historian was like, oh, that thing's real. Huh. That's interesting. And I'm like, all right, well, I can't really argue with that, man. But, yeah, apparently that existed, and the only reason it got caught was because it got hungry, and I guess, I think he was also saying how, like, the river was a little bit lower. I say river, whatever you want to call it is, the strait, I don't even know. And I forget what they called it. They called it something specific. I don't remember what the actual name of it was. I know that's not what it is called now, because now you have Turkey, and it's now the city of Istanbul instead of Constantinople. Filthy, filthy pagans. I'm kidding. But I'm not. No, get back. No. Don't, no. Now I've got no catapults. Gosh darn it. Anyway, but the thing was so massive that it fed the villages, the surrounding villages, and the village there for like 2 months solid. And I think the way it was described is that basically people were carving it up to pieces day and night for like weeks. It was just so big that like it took if you want to, like, I don't want to say hunting parties, it took I guess butcher parties, literally 24-hour round-the-clock episodes to simply get it off the beach. And my response to that was like, that's pretty cool, man. It makes me rethink the whole, like, there are no sea monster stories. It's like, oh, maybe some of those sea monster stories are real. Because you know, it's silly, it's stupid. Like, we know there are big whales and whatnot, but none that go after boats. Like, you know, even fishing boats are safe from pretty much everything. Even small ones, nothing goes after them, right? But, like, this thing was different. It did. It actually specifically went after them. It's crazy. Now, it doesn't mean that every single time it saw a boat, it went after them. But, like, basically the way it was is that whenever the sighting of it happened, people stopped going out in boats. Like, unless it was required, people didn't go out. So you essentially had people that, you know, their fastest method of travel is, of course, by boat. Just take a small boat across the strait. You're there by the end of the day or less. They'd rather go and take, like, the 3 or 4 week journey just to not get on the boat for half a day. It's crazy. But that, you know, it happened often enough where it's like, even if it's a small little boat, it's going to go after you. If it's a big boat, it'll still go after it. It all depends on what it wants to do. And so it sank a ton of boats. And like I said, 3 or 4 boats a month for even 3-4 months. That's a lot of boats. And you're going to destroy people's livelihoods. Entire industries will fail. Like, you can't go fishing because it's going to attract the thing. So that's going to be a massive damper on your food supply. It just thinking about the actual damage it would have caused is really interesting to me, because I find this stuff interesting. I didn't know about it until I was researching the Gothic War. The only reason I know about it is because I was researching Procopius. That's the only reason I ever heard about it. I'd never known about it. It makes me wonder if that whole Jonah story is a little bit not exaggerated. And again, there are whales that have been sighted in that sea before too. I actually looked that up later. In that area and other places as well. Whales that were big enough and having live reports of people being swallowed and spit up before. It's not the only time it's ever happened. It's very interesting, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. At least not that too much. Mostly because I didn't write down the notes. I was more just kind of like reading it in astonishment. I was just kept reading it and rereading it. I was like, this can't be 100%. This got to be fake. There's no way, right? And it's like, no, it's not. It's like these are legitimate, respected historians, and most of them are writing it like, oh, that's interesting. It's like, I didn't know about that. I thought that was a lie. I thought that was like a story that the fishermen told just for funsies. It's like, no, that thing's real. Holy crap! I was riding on boats out there. But Procopius has got a really interesting set of histories, and a lot of historians kind of pick and choose what they want out of it, and I'm trying to... So the reason my Gothic War stuff is going to be really long is because he has 2 sets of events that happen for every event. So I actually discussed it in some of my notes just to make sure I don't forget it, but I'm going to say it now too. One of the interesting things about it is that... Let's say interesting things about it. One of the things that's completely normal and is normal practice even for today is that kings and leaders would hire historians to document the things that they do. Of course they do, because why wouldn't you? But the thing is that somewhere along the line he starts writing a second set of history that is not flattering to the emperor of the Eastern Roman Empire or his general. And a lot of people would say that all of that is fake, and I am willing to believe that some of it could be fake, but I'm more likely to believe that he's being more honest if we look at both accounts than I would be to say that any one of them is more credible than the other. And my logic is that because if you read the other stuff, everything is always a glowing report. Everything. There's never a moment where essentially both the emperor and the empress and the general are not saints. They're always doing the good thing. They're always doing the right thing. Whereas in the second set of history, they're all monsters. And I think the truth is closer to the middle than it is towards one or the other. Mostly because I have a brain and can see how the fact that a king is very easily a monster. Especially one given ultimate power over an entire nation. Or actually more than a nation, multiple nations. And being told most of his life that he is essentially, by right, he is king. I mean, we only see kings have this problem throughout history over and over and over again. But, it's very interesting to read one set and then read the next set, because it's not exactly different, but it is different enough. I think there's one report, and I don't go over it because I'm not interested in the reports on the people themselves, except to give, I guess, accounts. But there was one where he basically called the Eastern Roman Empire Emperor Justinian essentially the devil himself, like quite literally the devil himself. No, well, it's not, especially if you're the leader. So the thing is that you can't always be merciful. Which, by the way, the Western and the Eastern Roman Empire, on multiple occasions, is very, very merciful towards its enemies, but usually for their own gain. Even Odoacer, who essentially was merciful to his enemy, only was so, I suspect, not because he was being a nice person, but because he realized that if he did what he wanted to do, he would have been immediately seen as a threat by the East. But if you want to listen to that, you can go to last Friday's stream. Basically, all my Total War Attila games are essentially history stuff too. But the Eastern Roman Emperor, actually the Roman empires at this point in time were actually relatively lenient with a lot of people. They weren't bloodthirsty as they used to be. It doesn't mean they were good, but they weren't as bloodthirsty. I'll definitely say that. Oh crap. I have not been babysitting my cavalry like I should. And so they definitely did. Jeez, look at all that. Look at all that. Just coming right in. I like how this is here, and it's supposed to be a murder hole, and nothing is used. Well, thank you. You can definitely go back and listen to it. It took me a long time to get my audio where it is, so if you want to go back, all my Total War Attila stuff is actually on my YouTube channel too. If you go to the About section under Twitch, you can actually look it up. I may go back and re-record some of it and maybe like just redo it later on, but I apologize in advance if you want to listen to the rest of it. Sometimes the audio is not great, and I truly am sorry about that. But luckily for me, I wrote down everything. So if I need to, if it really comes down to it, what I'll do is I'll make maybe some standalone videos and just record my notes, and maybe play this in the background or something, or maybe I'll just eliminate the audio from it and then just play it. I don't know. I haven't decided. Jeez. But yeah, we went through all the Western Roman emperors, starting with Honorius, and then we went all the way through Romulus Augustus, which I find, jeez, even my game is freaking out right now because of the shadows. That's one of the things about this game that they really needed to fix. It's got tons of graphical errors. Look at this. Look at this. It just keeps flipping out. Why? Because it can't handle this. It's not supposed to be able to do this. It can't deal with unit mass. It has a conniption fit. But no, I appreciate you saying that. I put a lot of work in this to make it good. And I've actually been kind of disappointed with the Western Roman Empire side because I knew broad strokes what happened. Even to an extent, some of the more in-depth stuff. But like this one. Like the Gothic War stuff, I knew about it to an extent. I knew some of the major events that happened. I knew the characters. I knew all the main events, but I didn't know all the little details. And like just the fact that the first, well, I don't want to give it up, but essentially the precursor to the Black Plague happens during the Gothic War. And it's kind of like one of those really, like once you read about it, you're like, oh, that's not good. Oh dear. Oh boy. And it actually kills was it? I think a fifth of the population, like just in that side of the world. Then it does it even worse later. But we'll get into that a little bit later. I haven't even gotten to that part of the story yet, and that's only like 10 years into it. There's so much crap that happens. Yes, the first Great Plague. The first Great Plague. But no, seriously, it's not just the first Great Plague. It is the precursor, and it is a different strain, but it's the same virus. I say virus because I think the Black Death was a bacterial infection. I think it's the same. It's in the same family, so it's a precursor to the Black Plague. Jeez, these guys are probably gonna die soon, or at least they're gonna break soon. One of the two. Oh, look at those graphical anomalies. I love it. And this is the best part. The only thing I can do is just sit here and wait and just let them eat themselves here. That's all I can really do. Man, I guess I should have done that here, is just do my history stuff here. That way I wouldn't get distracted. Well, you know, it could always be worse, man. Like, but I think you also have to realize that back then they didn't really know as much as we do now, but they knew a lot more than I think we think they did. You know, we always think that back in the day that people were like horrendously barbaric and didn't know any better, and I was like, no, they actually did have, like, for the time, for what they could do, they didn't have always good treatments, but they knew a thing or two about being clean, at least at this point in time. They didn't know everything, but they knew some things. You know, they did know that running water was good. They did know that keeping things clean for the most part was good. They didn't understand germs. They didn't understand that part, so that's why things usually, you know, got worse. But they did understand how to hopefully keep yourself from getting sick. It's just, unfortunately, whenever you have something like that virulent hit your population, and by the way, this is one of the reasons why I don't live in a major city. I refuse to do so, is that major cities are nothing more than breeding grounds for that crap. Oh, no, absolutely. So there's stuff today that we don't know anymore. Absolutely. Like, during when the Roman Empire collapsed, they took with them a lot of technology. Now, I would say we've advanced further than we need to know it, but if you look at just again all the different kingdoms that come after them, especially in Europe, they all are basically just a bunch of children trying to play with Roman toys. That's essentially what it looks like to me, because they all want to be Roman. That's one of the things I was telling one of my, well, Ham's not in here tonight, but Iron Ham, one of the guys that he helps me moderate my Discord server and things like that. He's not into it. He's not as interested into it as I am. He's here to make sure that I don't bungle something. That's what he's here for. He's here to make sure that I don't burn. I don't crash and burn all the time. But all the empire, all the kingdoms that are formed in Europe are formed with the intention of trying to be the empire they destroyed. And when they did that, they essentially burned and destroyed everything about it to the ground. That's the interesting part about it. So yeah, there's definitely stuff that we lost, but you know, nowadays we don't need to know anymore. Now, what's really sad is that a lot of the histories of Rome and things like that were destroyed. That's one of the things that always gets me. So, like, what was it? There was, I forget what it was, but I remember somebody showing me a list of works that survived and didn't survive. And basically it's like, if you go back and you read like the traditional Beowulf, less than like 10 copies survive or something like that. It's horrendously small, but they're mostly complete, but they're spanned out over centuries. So we don't have succinct copies of them. We have pieces that we have to figure out and put together. Then you have, what was the other one? We have Shakespeare, which also don't have that many copies surviving. Then we have the histories of Rome, which we have some pieces surviving, but still not that many. I forget. I mean, I wish I could remember the numbers, because it was like horrendously small. Most of Tacitus's histories never survived. We only have like what? We know he had books, but we don't know how many, and we only have like 2 of them in completion and another one that's incomplete. Like it's really bad. Then we have well, I mean, we could go into the early Middle Ages essentially start right after the Gothic Wars, because that's essentially whenever the kingdoms of those areas, that's when the Lombards come in and actually take over Italy, and I think those are the guys that essentially become, along with the mix of the Romans, the Ostrogoths, and the Lombards, I think that's what actually forms the Italian kingdom, like the long-term Italian kingdom. Heck, we can go further. We can go even longer, and we can discuss why, like, where feudalism comes from, which is essentially a bunch of rich Romans fleeing Rome. But you know, whatever. Anyway, it didn't matter. Jeez, they're gonna break through. They are definitely gonna break through. Why am I? Get these guys over here. Oof, yeah, they're gonna break. But man, I'm bleeding them, but still. Jeez, I'm getting killed. They've only got 1,000 men left. Jeez, I can win this. It's going to be close, but I can win. Oh, gee, that was a terrible cavalry hit. I try to watch like historical stuff, historical YouTube stuff. The only problem is that I spend a lot of my day researching for Friday streams, and so what ends up happening is if I have something in the background that's not really part of what I'm researching, I will stop what I'm doing, and I will lose track. Like what was I watching the other day? I was watching something the other day, and it just completely sidetracked me for the day. I'll take it back. I was working and doing research. So one of the things I'll do is I'll actually be working and like have my notebook open, and I'll just start taking notes whenever I have downtime. Okay, good. Those guys are gone. Very good. Now, let's go kick some people in the butt and see if that'll help, because we are bleeding men, but probably at a much slower rate. Oh, good. They've only got 600 left. Okay, we can win. We can win. We can win. We can win! I like how nothing, like there's no real sound except for crickets. I love that. Just
The men have broken and are fleeing. Their general has been killed.
But yeah, do you have the professor's name? I'll definitely write it down, and I'll take a look at it when I can. We might even go into doing some other kind of history. I might do some because each time I play a different game. Once we're done with this series, we're gonna do with the Rise of Rome or with the Japanese islands, one of the two. Specifically, the Boshin War or something like that. I always like the Boshin War. The Boshin War is such a really weird little war. It's a silly war. It's a war literally about selling guns. That's all it is. The Japanese were like, hey, we're mad at other Japanese people. And then Portugal, France, England, and America. Yeah, the rise of the kingdom, actually. Not the Republic. We're going to do the rise of the kingdom, then move into the Republic, and then move into the Empire. So think of this as, I did this once as I started this series solely because one day we were talking about Caligula, and I was talking about all the crazy stuff Caligula did. I love Caligula. He's insane, but he's insane on a level that's really, really awesome. Like, he's not a good emperor at all, but he's just like one of those emperors I'm like, I just gotta give the guy credit. People think he's nuts. I don't think he's nuts. Like, I'm not a historian, I'm not a professional, but like everything I've read about him, and I was like, this doesn't sound like a crazy person to me. This sounds like someone who's very, very good at manipulating people. And he's very good at understanding what makes people tick, which is why it got under everybody's skin. Now, eventually, he just starts randomly murdering people, and that definitely is more insane, but it's more from paranoia and not from just wanton death and destruction. But most Roman emperors did what he did. It's just that they just thought he was bad because he did it the specific way he did it. Wow, I can't believe I won that fight. Only with, out of 2,000 men, 400 survive. Fair enough. But yeah, so I started that, and then I think I just asked Grim and Fucker, were you here yet? I don't even know yet. I don't think you were. But I just asked one of the other guys that usually watches, named Grim, and I think one or two other people. I was like, do y'all wanna? I mean, I can discuss this stuff at length, but I'd rather do it like in a format that makes sense. Well, I mean, that's every. Well, I mean, I'll be fair. Yeah, you are correct. But I think it's more than that. It's because of the amount of... See, he was, what, 18 years old when he took the throne? 18, 16? I can't even remember. It's insane. He's insanely young when he takes the throne. And they hand him the keys to everything. And like any 18-year-old or 16-year-old... It's either 16 or 18. I cannot remember. I think he had to be 18. He had to be 18 because you couldn't be consul, I think, without being 18 or 20 or something. I can't remember which. You had to be an adult, a legal adult. And I want to say that once he took the keys to Rome, so to speak, that was it. Like, he started turning bad anyway, because he just kept partying and partying and partying and treating people like crap. Definitely the lack of support from the Senate didn't help. But I think it's more than that. Like, when he marched his men up to the... what's that strait between France and England? I forget what it's called. The that little Man, I can't remember what it's called. You know, for someone who likes history, I suck right now at geography. And I cannot remember for the life of me what it was called. But anyways, that's that space between France and England. And, like, he made his men attack the English Channel. There we go. Thank you. Good lord. See, don't rely on me for geography unless it's like American geography. I can help you there. When it comes down to like anything in Europe, I when I was growing up, I still had the same idea that I do now. I really don't care because I'm never gonna go there. I would love to visit Rome, but I'm not gonna go do it. Like I have no interest in going to Italy. I've got no interest in going into Europe. I've got no interest in going anywhere. I'll go around the United States, but I'm not interested in going anywhere near this stuff. It just everything's crazy, man. Especially now. And again, I'm more than happy for people to tell me you're an idiot. Why would you not want to go see this? And it's like, I kind of do. I don't want to go deal with it. I've been in a plane crash. I've almost drowned. I'm not interested in going over there because everywhere I go, I gotta get on a plane or I gotta get on a boat. Not interested. But stories for another time. Actually, no. You are partially correct. He didn't order them to get on the boats to Britain. He ordered them just to do that because he needed to show, because the legion that he took were veterans. And that's the important part. These were hardened veterans. These are not green recruits. These are not newly minted legionnaires. These are actual veterans of different wars. What he did was he essentially humiliated them by making them do something as silly as taking off their helmets and filling them with seashells as the spoils of their war. And their war was with Neptune, so he made them stab the bank in the ocean. That was what he did. And because they were hardened soldiers, there was a pride that came with that. This is why I'm saying he's not insane. He's actually quite brilliant. It's just he's really, really sick. And so that was the funny part about that, is the fact that, again, I remember watching documentaries on Caligula when I was, let's see, what one was that? I don't know. It's been like a couple years ago at the minimum. And the historians were like, well, this just proves that he's insane. And I was like, he does not sound insane. He sounds like a man who understands what makes people tick. What you've done is you've got it'd be like getting a bunch of Navy SEALs together and having your general say, I want you to go dress up in tutus and I want you to dance in front of people. And by the way, you better sing good. They're going to look at you like you're nuts, but they're going to follow the order anyway. They're not going to talk about this ever again. They're never going to discuss this with anyone ever again. Why? Because it's so god dang embarrassing. I mean, and so they're not going to say anything. They're not going to do anything. They're going to do nothing. And by the way, he'll make you do it again. Don't question him, right? That was the point. That was the goal. And it worked. That's the part that a lot of historians that I've listened to, they don't get that. The point is to bring these very proud men low beneath him. Because again, he's an 18-year-old kid. He's never seen combat, even though his father was a general that fought in Germania or Gaul. I can't remember which. I know that his father's name was Germanicus. I don't remember specifically. There's been lots of Germanicuses, so I forget exactly what front he was on, but I know he fought in Gaul, and actually the reason why they call him Caligula was because it was basically a reference to the boots that the Roman soldiers wore, so Caligula actually literally means little boots. Joaquin Phoenix played an emperor? Oh, of Commodus. He played Commodus in The Gladiator. I think his rendition of Commodus was inaccurate. I think Commodus was way more of a party animal than what they showed him to be. And the I keep wanting to say the Patriot, but it's not that. In Gladiator, they make him look out to just be a vicious, like, maniacal person, but history shows him to just be this, like, really, like, they make him sound like a frat boy in the history. And I think a frat boy would be less hated, I think, than the Commodus they show. Am I thinking of the right guy? Right? It's in Gladiator, right? That was Joaquin Phoenix, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'm just making sure. I'm terrible with actors' names. I mostly because I don't have any respect for most actors. That might be it. Wow, I am walking right towards a ballista. That's probably the reason why I'm getting pelted and destroyed. Crap. Yeah. Well, this was a pretty low chance of success anyway, but you know what? Who cares? I have 6 cavalry. I will win with 6 cavalry. Here we go. You're about to witness history. I have 6 cavalrymen, and we will win. We will succeed. Actually, I should probably just charge them this way. It's no use. But yeah, I've also been recently, on my way to work, I've been actually listening to Marcus Aurelius' meditations. Because, you know, I like history, and I like Roman stuff. And I don't disagree. So it was one of the things that I find really interesting is that if you read Sun Tzu's Art of War and a couple of even like other things, just religious proverbs and whatnot, a lot of them sound the same. There are exceptions, of course. I'm not trying to like tell anybody it's the exact same thing. It's not. But like there's some things that obviously are universal truths that everybody from every culture can see. Like, I think Marcus Aurelius at one point talks about, like, you know, before you start your day, remember that, you know, basically you're going to die. It's like, you know, just remember that life is fleeting. So don't worry about all these little things. Just focus on becoming the better version of yourself today. You know, that's not uncommon to hear across the board in multiple different cultures. And it's very, very interesting to know about that. Please don't tell me. Am I about to win? Am I about to win? How? In what way am I about to win? Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed a miracle. That was a decisive victory. That should be more like a heroic victory. But now, whenever I watch something or I read something or I play something, especially when it comes down to something historical, I want something accurate. So if I know that it's something like that, like if I know there's a historical piece, I know, right? Praise me now. I actually get really, really like irritated. So one of the things that happened, I'm gonna get all this. I don't care about any of that stuff. Like one of the things that I don't like about this is that, like, they have the Danes in here, like the Danes, what is it? The Danes, like they have the Viking kingdoms here. The Viking kingdoms didn't show up during the migration period. They sold it as kind of like a, oh hey, look at this. And it's like they're not supposed to be here yet. They don't show up for another like what? 200 years, 100 years, something like that? Minimum. No, later than that. They don't show up until. I can't remember. It's been too long. I haven't looked at. I mean, I'm not really like a big fan of the Viking kingdoms anyway. I think they're interesting, but I don't really care about them. I think the only thing that I find interesting about them is their fighting style. That's basically it. Which even then, I wouldn't say is something that I find that interesting. All I know is that the Danes essentially assumed ownership of pretty much every kingdom for a while. God dang it. Fight me, or at least let me auto-resolve this fight so I can kill you. Thank you. I'm just gonna just go ahead and kill you. I don't want to fight that. I know I can, but I don't want to. Kill them. Yes, finally. So these guys, I know this. You're just now joining us, Krogan. This guy's been a pain in my butt for like, I don't know, 3 sessions. He keeps running around here over and over and over again, and I've been chasing him, and I've beaten him like 4 times. So I beat him all the way up here, I think. Beat him down here. Beat him down here. Beat him over here. And now he's just circling this mountain. So I was like, finally, I caught him. So I'm like, okay, finally. I don't want to have another fight with this jerk off again. So we're done. All right, let's see here. Let's do that. Do that. I feel like these little household things weren't as good as they used to be. Okay. But hey, by the way, speaking of corruption, you can actually like really, really knock down your corruption really easily. You just have to have some spies and whatnot. I think I was pulling in what, like, when I played as the Eastern Romans, I think I had pulled in, like, from Constantinople alone, I was pulling in almost 10,000 per turn because I knocked down the corruption almost to 10%. Like, you can do it. You gotta meta it a little bit. You gotta play with it, but you can do it. Let's see, zeal. Let's turn the zeal up. Yeah, let's turn the zeal up. We love zeal. It gives me better melee bonuses, I think. At least it used to. I can't remember. Alright, let's see here. And you guys are in need of repair, but I'm not going to have enough money for all of this. Let's see, and your army's been battered. Your army's... Let's see if I can finish these guys off real quick. Nope. I cannot, so we are not going to. And I'm not going to tempt fate. So, you have 3 onagers? Why do you have 3 onagers? That's a lot of money, dude. I'll give you away with 2. Sure. I am at war with everyone. Ah, I'm not at war with these guys yet, but they're pissed off at me. Ah, even the Jews don't like me, but the Jews, well, we did eventually burn Jerusalem to the ground and kill, what, 600,000 Jews? That's what they did, eventually, under General Titus. Although I forget when that happened. I know it was early Empire? Was it Nero? I can't remember. Wait, I can't remember. Yeah, Nero is also another interesting character to me, but Nero is far closer to one of those psychotic people that people believe Caligula was. Now, Claudius was also an interesting emperor. Yeah. So basically, the main issue is all these guys. Was it Year of the 5 Emperors? Under Titus? As much as I love Roman history, there are some sections that are more boring than others. And I'm gonna say a hot take here. Oh, trade. I'm sorry. Some of these people won't trade with me. The Roman separatists over here. These are Western. Wait, my Western Roman separatists. The Western Roman separatists. What is this? I don't even know. What is that? They moved all the way over here. I kicked their butts and they moved over here. Weird. I mean, I'll try, but I think these are my Roman separatists. Yeah, no, they're not going to take it. Yes, create a puppet state. As the Eastern Romans, I know I can do that. Try Britain.
You will find me a willing and attentive audience for you.
Yeah, no, they don't want to talk to me. No, because I beat them. I put that rebellion down pretty quick. This got taken. So this is actually where well, the general, I had to disband the general because I was losing too much money. But this is actually where I stopped the Ostrogoths pretty much dead in their path. I don't think the Ostrogoths exist anymore. Solely because I beat the crap out of them at Sirmium. Unfortunately, Sirmium is no longer on my plate, but you know, you get the idea. And then for some reason, everybody came in and just burned everything down over here. Just everything was gone. Now the other Roman separatists, I think, came in. Yeah, here they are, right there. That's the capital I got to take out to turn off the what is it called? That all those negative bonuses that I get. Ah, crud! I gotta repair all this stuff. Actually, I can't get rid of that. I already have a chapel here. Which one? The Ostrogoths? Oh, hello. What are you? Yeah, I can. And one of the things I've done is I have given some people that follow me pretty often and watch, I'll give them different legions. So, there's Grimm's Legion. He's not here tonight. Well, let's see here. Where is it? It's right. Oh. Nope, that's not it. I thought I could. Is it here? Oh, I guess you can't. Never mind. My bad. I can give the legions names, but I can't change the names of the generals. All right, so I lied. I apologize, Lana. But yeah, no, I do actually give no. Not right now. But yeah, so one of the things I have done is I've made sure that, like, so there's Fokker's Legion. Fokker's maybe still in here, I don't know. But I've given Fokker his legion of all my elite troops and some slingers, because slingers are awesome. If you don't know anything about slingers, I recommend you look them up, because slingers are like, we don't think of them as being very deadly or dangerous, but holy crap, slingers are mean, dude. Slingers can outrange you by a lot. Slingers are probably my worst fear now. This is just like, what's that? That's just some guy with a rock and a sling. Oh, dude, run. Don't do this. Just run. Oh, man. I didn't think about it until somebody made me, like, actually, I think, walked me through it. Like, just think about the actual stuff that you do here. Like, if you actually did this, like, you're basically was it the, jeez. A buddy of mine who's a physics guy, well, skirmishers, yes, but I'm talking about, like, real life slingers, like actual slingers. Think that he was one of my friends when I was growing up with him. He was he's big into, like, statistics and physics, and he was like, so if you throw a baseball, you can throw a baseball like at over 100 miles an hour, pretty far. You know, like you can get it pretty far, but like the further out your hand goes, the more, I forget, was it torque, or the more power that goes to it. So with a sling, you're extending your arm by like half, and you're whirling it, so you're speeding it up, and then you're releasing it further from your arm than you normally would, which is like, it's not just increasing it by a factor of like 1 or 2, it's like increasing it by a factor of 10 to 12. Like it's insanely high. And it's like, but it's not that far from your arm. Now imagine if you can do that even farther. And so it's like you're hurling something at, what was it? I forget the math that he did, but it was just like, if you throw a baseball, you get like 100 miles an hour. You throw a rock with a sling, you're getting like 250. It's minimum. Like it was like, dude, this is insane. Like why would you need an archer? And it's like, not everybody used archers. It's like, okay, all right. Well, apparently I'm an idiot. Okay, I can't really. Oh, finally, I got my frickin' onagers here, but I can't build any. I don't have any money. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. I should probably get rid of this paganism.
That's your command.
But yeah, I like skirmishers too, though, by the way. I like skirmishers. Skirmishers are fun. Alright, let's make sure that we don't have any extra moves lying around here. Look at all that. 4 freaking rebellions. 4 of them. All at once. I'm sorry, 5. I apologize. I have 5 active rebellions. This poor one Ulpa Victrix. This poor one solid unit of spearmen and pikemen, archers, and onagers versus 5 active rebellions, because why not? Why not? Let's see. And then I got this guy. I'm just waiting for this guy to come and attack. That's all I'm doing right now. Like, I'm not even bothering. I'm just waiting. Well, I mean, that's one way to do it. Just burn down everything. See, that was one of my problems, is that I was trying to save Gaul, and I was trying to save the south parts of England. I was trying to do that, but I knocked down everything to level 1 settlements, and I actually held on pretty long. Londinium didn't fall until, what, 2 sessions ago? And I only had the bare bones garrison there. I managed to pull it off pretty well. It just wasn't good enough. I was hoping to get back up here sooner and fix a few things. It just didn't happen. Because I focused more on... I actually enjoy the defensive and offensive fights. I really do. I mean, I really do enjoy those. Alright, let's see. Governor. I've got that down. Now I need more food. Look, man. You gotta defeat those Vandals before they take it, though. You gotta defeat the Vandals before they take Africa from you. Or until some idiot invites them over from the this little strait here. Also history we went over maybe what? Fokker, remind me, when did we go over that? That was like 3-4 weeks ago minimum? I can't even remember the guy's name that did it. All I knew was that he was an idiot for doing it. That's his screen name. So one of the things that I'll do is, even if I know your name, I'm never gonna say it. I don't give my name out. I don't give anybody's names out. Even friends that I know and family that occasionally pop in and want to listen to the history stuff, I never give their names. So I just use screen names. For the record, Fokker and I are not personally acquainted. I never use screen names. But Fokker is hilarious whenever he wants to talk. He's always got something smart alecky to say, and I appreciate it entirely. Well, it's either smart alecky or something horrible that's hilarious, one of the two. Right now he's probably thinking of something really disgusting to say, just to be funny. And I appreciate that. But see, here's the thing. Also, it's not a bad word. It's with an O, so it's okay. Ah, crud, they're gonna take Tarentum. Oh, okay, here we go. Sorry, that was loud. I apologize. I got right on top of my microphone for that one. Okay, let's see if we can pull... Jeez! And they're all back to... Oh my god, how do they get back to full health in one turn? See, this is one thing... This is one thing that I really don't like about the AI. In one turn, they can go from defeated to full strength. I hate that crap. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I think it's unfair. Play fair. But it's like, oh, it's more challenging. No, it's not. It's literally just designed to punish the player. That's all it's doing. It's just designed to make the player just miserable. Ben Steele. I don't know that name. You have to remind me. Who is that? Is that an actor? I don't know. I told you, I don't know any actors. Well, Testudo is also horribly done, but yes, it is horribly OP to an extent. But I would even say it's not even done right. Testudo should be a near impenetrable fortress, which they do rather well in the first game, Rome 1. But they don't do it very well anywhere else. They don't even get it right in the Three Kingdoms. Like, this is a terrible testudo. And this is one of the problems that I have with this game, is that this is a suicide pact. With everybody that has a shield here. This is a terrible idea. Even at an incline, there should not be this much of a gap here. There shouldn't be any gaps here. You can't form a testudo like this. It really is true. But it's not just aesthetics, it's function. That's the problem. So if the aesthetics was bad but the function was right, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care as much, because I can explain this away. But the thing is that in the first game, they got it perfect. If you've never seen the testudo in Rome 1, it's really cool. Well, yeah, but I mean, oh crap! I didn't put them in I didn't put them in testudo. But the thing is that the hoplites weren't used at this point. Like the hoplons weren't used at this point. This is all gonna be the scutums and the, what are they called? The scutums and the things that succeeded the scutums. I forget what they're called. But yeah, so seeing them use different shields isn't the problem. The problem that I have is the fact that it just functionally doesn't work. And then, now they fixed it. Well, quote unquote, they fixed it. But in the first game, the way that they made it work is that your shields actually did something, even though you didn't actually see the shield do anything. They do a better job in this game, where like if an arrow hits a shield, you at least can see the arrow for a few seconds. In the first game, like, the shield actually blocked damage. It wasn't there to be an extra layer of health. So like, if you look at a health bar of a unit without shields, their health bar is lower. But in this game, in the first game, their shield only added, I think, armor and something else, and it was like an extra layer of defense. But they functioned. So when you put your men in testudo, if you took a direct hit from arrow fire, it did nothing. Like, you literally had 0 damage to your unit. And so that is what that is. In this game, you can just pelt a testudo until it goes away. That's what you can do. That right there is what bothers the living crap out of me. I hate that. Especially because they already got it right. They don't need to fix it. So what happened? Like, seriously, what happened? Oh, there they go. They're in testudo. Boom. And they immediately break testudo. Which, I guess, for cavalry charges, they technically would break it. You don't want to be in testudo formation for a cavalry charge. It's actually suicide, but, you know. I don't think it was OP. I think it's the way that they did the game. So, instead of having armor and things like that, because here's the thing. If they had kept all the mechanics and they increased the visuals, they would have had a superior game, and nobody would have cared. Everybody would have been happy. That's why Rome 2, when it first launched, it was hated by the fandom. It was hated by it. And the reason being is because they completely overhauled the way the game worked. They made it more casual and less tactical. They made it less like a strategy game and more like an arcade game. Which, again, I kind of go back and forth. Like, yeah, Rome 2 is still fun for me, but it just doesn't have the interest that Rome 1 did. But it's not an OP. It's not an OP formation, not at all. It's OP if all you do is shoot arrows at somebody, absolutely. But the testudo is still weak on the sides and in the back. It only works if you're taking the fight head on. That's the thing. Even in the game, it worked that way, and they even use a side and rear. I think they use a side and forward testudo formation. So, like, the sides would actually show their shields on the outside as well as the front. The back was the weakest part. It functionally worked like a testudo. That's what I really, really enjoyed about it. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's you can tell when a game's had some love put into it, you know? And in that case, I just didn't see it. And I would even say that when Rome 2 first launched, there was so many errors and so many problems with it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, they do. They do. And they also give it like a unit mass charge, or unit mass bonus, not just cavalry. I think spearmen get a bonus for other stuff, but I can't remember what. Oh, geez. Okay, I've got a lot of guys here. Okay, hold on. I didn't know I had this many soldiers here. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Roman history and Roman formations, and really appreciate them. I always enjoy them. So whenever I think my biggest frustration is that they got it right the first time and they didn't get it right the second time, which is the part that kind of confused me. And they completely overhauled the way the game worked. That probably was my next complaint. And I'm not saying because I don't like it. I do actually enjoy the game. You know, I wouldn't play this game if I didn't enjoy it, and I wouldn't play Rome 2 if I didn't enjoy it. And I've got, I think Rome 2 is my second most played game on my library. It's really high up there. Alright, let's see. I'm going to put you guys right here. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, I don't mean to go on and on and on. I apologize. But when I find something that I'm passionate about, I don't shut up on it. Yeah, that onager is going to do some damage, but I've got a lot of guys, a lot of them, and they've only got one, which means they're only going to be able to take out one section of wall. Well, the problem with making a game like this is that it's insanely expensive. I would love to do that, and I've always had a dream of doing something like that. The problem is that it's going to cost an arm and a leg to do, and I would not want to sell out in order to do it. And actually, there's a guy that is making his own video game for that very reason. He's on. I watch him every now and again when I can, but I don't get to watch him as much as I used to anymore. Something about life and working and stuff. But he won't get a publisher. He's doing it all himself, and he's doing it off of donations and whatnot. He's coming along. He's got a long way to go, though. All right, let's see if we can knock out some of those. If I can knock out even one of those... Oh, crap. These got two sets of... Oh, crap. No, this is not in range. Oh, well. I guess I can take out the ballistas. But, you know, when I was a kid, I always wanted to make video games, and I still kind of do. But I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I got ideas, but I don't have the my knowledge for things like that is long since passed.
We await your command. The enemy should know when the odds are hopeless.
They should know, and they don't. They should learn their place. All right, they're aiming for my soldiers, so I'm gonna push you guys back a little bit. Good. Attack the walls. Mattiari. I'm not familiar with those. Then again, some of the names for these units are just completely made up. They're just, hey, that's a cool Latin name. Let's use that. Like the Protectores Domestici is, I'm not familiar with that unit. Or that, I guess that unit. Yeah. Like, this is another thing I always thought was funny, is that the gates are open, but the enemy can't run through it. But yeah, no, by my next, let's see, I haven't decided what I'm going to do next, because I did start a Rome 1 playthrough. We'll see how far it gets. Of course they can, because why would you build a universe where units need to worry about doors opening? That would be silly. It's a silly thought. Oh yeah, they're gonna attack this side of the wall. Okay, yeah, they're gonna attack this side of the wall. All right, so I need to move a set of. Wait, where's my? All right, pause. I need to find a set of spearmen. They all over here? I didn't move any of them up? Okay, that's bad. That was done. Or dumb. That's how you know my my lovely beverage is doing its job. I'm now slurring and making silly noises with my mouth that aren't what I mean to make. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, welcome to the chat, Lana. I apologize. I didn't greet you earlier. I'm a bad person. See, we've already covered this, though. I am a bad person. I get sidetracked, and then I forget to greet people and say hi. Don't worry about it, man. It's just like a little bit of a mix. It's okay. It's just like, it's just a little bit of Jack, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's actually something watered down. It's just kind of numbing my tongue. I'm actually a horrible lightweight. Aw, I appreciate it. I'm not, though. I will say this. I've had more gay men hit on me than I've had straight women hit on me. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or if I should be proud of that, but it's the truth. Oh, that's my general. Definitely don't want to put him there. So one of the things I'll occasionally do is I'll tell stories about my my time in whatever it is that I'm doing. And there was one guy who I was in. Jeez, what was it? I was in college, and I was junior, and I hated regular college, so I went to like a local university instead. I couldn't bear standing to be around like an actual four-year university with all the bells and whistles. It was a waste of time and money, and I hated it. And there was one guy there, and his intro to me was, hey, I normally don't do this, but like I'm totally straight, right? I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, so, do you want to grab, like, a cup of coffee? I was like, are you, like, to study? Or he's like, nah, man, I told you I'm straight. And I was like, alright, I'm confused. And it was the most awkward thing in the world, and I didn't know he was asking me out on a date. And it wasn't until, like, later on that he was like, I think I kind of came off kind of rough. And I was like, you think? I have no idea what you wanted from me. And he's like, well, look, man, like, I used to be married. I was like this stuff. And I was like, okay. And he was, like, 20 years my senior. So that was the funnier part. Is that, what are those called again? It's like sugar bears? Or, no, they're not sugar daddies. They're something specific. It was, but anyway, he wouldn't leave me alone. Even after I was like, the first time I told him, I was like, okay, no, I appreciate it, man, but I'm not interested. Like, I'm flattered. I really am. Like, if I was gay, probably, but nah, I'm good. Appreciate it, though. And he would not take that as an answer. He wouldn't. Because he still sometimes texts me. Because we were in class, and I was like, look, I'm not gonna hold it against you, man. Like, this is cool, man. Like, I'm not gonna judge somebody for taking a shot. I'm just not gonna do it. But like, you gotta learn to take no for an answer. And look, I don't know whether to be kind of like, I don't know if I should be like unhappy with it, or if I should be like, man, the guy just doesn't know how to take no for an answer. But he only recently stopped talking to me, and that was a long time ago. That was like the last time I saw him was a long time ago. Like, he'll just be like, hey, you still sure you don't want to go out on a drink or something? I was like, dude, come on, man, leave me alone. It's been like 6 years. Oh, man. Alright, let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? There we go. Alright. Haha. My little itty bitty spearmen here will win. Oh, where's my cavalry? Oh, they're out here. That's right. I left my cavalry way over here. But yeah, no. Then the other time was, say the other time. There's lots of other times. Let's see. I know I'm such a horrible person. They just can't keep their hands off me, man. But yeah, I forget what they were called, but like, there's a specific term for people like that, and it was like, obviously when an older man and a younger man are together, and like one of them's obviously the alpha of the group or whatever, like, just like, because the guy was way bigger than me. Like, I'm not a small dude, but that guy was like, whew. Like, usually whenever I'm around, I'm one of the bigger guys in the room. Like, not like massive, I'm just one of the bigger guys in the room. And I'm not saying that I'm a big dude. I'm not. Like, I'm not like a massive guy. But, like, this guy was way bigger than me. And I was like, dude, it's like, it would be like, oh, jeez, I can't even think of it because it's like, I can't, without getting really nerdy, I can't think of a good description. It's like if Kingpin tried to grab, like, an anemic. You know, Kingpin from, like, the Daredevil universe, the guy with the massive F-off hands. No, I'm not going to stop. Because I need you to understand who I was dealing with here. He looked like Vin Diesel. That's what it is. He looked like Vin Diesel. That's the reason why I remember him. It's just he was a less handsome version of Vin Diesel. Let's put it that way. Then I could tell you about the time there was a really, really flamboyantly gay guy that would hit on me, and he wouldn't stop either. I ended up dating his sister a little bit, actually. And that got really weird, so I had to stop that. But that was, that's like super ancient history. Like, we're talking, like, jeez, I can't even remember. It's been too long. Alright, now I'm gonna stop. Because I think I scared somebody away, so now I'll stop. But that was, I just had to share it because it was funny. Yay! We're winning by sitting and waiting with my testudo. No, I'm good, man. I'm kind of giving myself, like I'm psyching myself out. I'm like, oh god, I'm like shivering a little bit just thinking about it. Look, I'm willing to put up with lots of stuff, but even my own memories sometimes I don't want to go back. There's a reason why I don't want to relive this all the time. Hell, there's one of my streams where I discussed the year that I almost died like half a dozen, no, actually more than half a dozen. It was almost a dozen or maybe 2 dozen times in like 1 year where I almost legitimately died, like at least twice a month. Over really stupid crap. Maybe one day I'll tell the story again, but not tonight. My mouth is too numb and I'm getting too tired. And I will probably put in details that will get my account banned. So I refuse to do that until I am 100% of a sound mind. Are you not firing? Why aren't you firing? Can you please fire your arrows, your little sharp pointy sticks?
The enemy has obliterated an entire unit.
Okay, that's not exact. Okay, that's stupid. You wouldn't fire volleys of arrows in this way. Again, something that they had right in Shogun 2 that they completely botched in this game. Sorry, I don't mean to speed up and not show the actual violence, but there we go. It is, but this fight's already over. They've got 400 men left. This fight's over. Let's get my general some kills, since obviously they can't die at this point. Ah, arrow trails. Alright, I gotta ask, does anybody else like arrow trails? I hate arrow trails. I'm one of those guys that's gonna constantly tell you how much he doesn't like something. But I'll also tell you non-stop how much I do like things, so there's kind of a double-edged sword there. Really, you like them? I'm not a fan. I prefer just watching the arrow. Like in Shogun 2, where you get to just watch the arrow path, and it just looks so beautiful. It's glorious. I'll put up with them. But to me, it looks really weird. I was raised on original Total War, so... I say raised. I was raised on lots of stuff, but probably not good stuff. Alright. How many troops? 6%? 6%? Oh, and I lost 2 units of Palatine. Oh, that's my actual army. Crap. My garrison took almost no damage. That's awesome. Luckily, I lost 2 troopers.
Ready for orders.
Great. Alright, we're gonna skip this fight. I've only done like, what, 2 turns since I've started, and it's been almost, that's been 2 hours and 40 minutes? Yeah, no, I'm gonna skip some of these fights here. Tarentum, you are... I have just enough men to probably beat you, so let's just go ahead and let's just auto-resolve that, see if I win. I'll tell you what, I'll give you your own legion as soon as it's my turn, alright, man? I saw you followed, so you know what? You're gonna get a legion, alright? You're gonna get your own legion. Which one do you want? I'm gonna let you look at the legion. You tell me which one you want. Alright, so we got Legio 7 Gemina. Just give me a yay or nay. I can't give you one that's already given up, though. Fokker and Grim already... Okay, so you want that one, Lana? Alright, Lana, you get that one. How do I do this again? I forgot. I thought it was... Flaccid. You'll both want it. Crud. Okay, so you both want Gemini. Alright, well, hold on. I got more legions. I got more legions, guys. I got more legions. Alright. Thanks, Daddy. That's the first time I've been called that in a long time. Actually, that's not that long ago, but still. Chelena. 10. You went Legio 10? Do I have Legio 10? Do I have a Legio 10? Let's see if I have a Legio 10 first. Where's my units? There's Fokker's Legion. Oh, I do have Legio 10. It's Liberatrix. But where is my way to edit it? I know I did it for the other ones. I thought I just clicked on it and that was the end of it. Is it up here? Ah, there it is. So, Kurogan, you want Legio 10? There you go. Although technically it's supposed to be your name. Whatever, I'll let it work. And then Lana, you wanted Legio 7? I'll keep it at Lana for now. Just so it looks a little bit more professional. Because we're a professional outfit here. We talk about professional things like getting hit on by sugar bears. And let's see here. I want that and I want that. Now, let's see if we can't get some of my settlements back up and running here. I forget what they're called. It's something bear, but I can't remember what they're called. It's going to bother me all night tonight. I'm going to be lying awake in bed going, what the hell are they called? I don't remember. But it's something really weird and awkward that just makes me feel cringy just thinking about it. And once I remember it, I'm going to just shiver in bed going, okay, I probably shouldn't have done that. 5 turns. Do I have the men? I've been on the defense all night. Let's get some offense going on, right? Let's get some offense going on. This is probably going to be my last fight of the night because it's getting kind of late. Even for me, even for Friday, even for the 4th of July, it's getting kind of late. Alright, let's see here. Where's the weak part of the wall? Okay, that's broken open, and those are probably down. That's not, though. Ah, come here. Move y'all here. So my stream schedule is in the About section. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'm going to try to include more streams there. But right now, thanks to... I don't want to say it like that. Due to certain things, I can't stream much more than that. Most of my real content is actually scheduled for Friday. So if you're joining for the other streams, we're really just there to kind of talk and just shoot the crap and be done with it. Friday is history. So I don't think you were here when I did the history section. That was... You know, I should timestamp these. I don't remember when I did the history section. It's been a little bit. But Friday I do a history that we're doing... No, I do not live in Taiwan. Do I live in... Oh my god, did I actually set my time zone in Taiwan? Am I that much of an idiot? No, not in Taiwan. But you know what? No, actually, yes. For the FBI and for the CIA and the NSA, I live in Taiwan. Yes. Yes, I do. I live in Taiwan now. Oh my god, I can't get my general to be right. Okay, whatever, fine. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so if anybody wants to come find me, I live in Taiwan, at Taiwan, and yeah. I try. That was a really weak speech. I missed the speech. I missed the speeches. The real speeches. They weren't that great, but they were fantastically fun. Just absolutely fun. Loved them. If I want to march... I don't want to march you up there. Oh, I get reinforcements. Oh, that's right. I brought a whole bunch of other guys here. That's right. Duh. And that's why I am going to probably call it an end after this one, because I can't even remember when I was bringing soldiers in. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Oh, they have how many waves of reinforcements? They've got the Navy and they've got other rebels. Got it. But yeah, usually what we do is we'll talk Weebery stuff. We'll talk... Look. There's only so much I can do, but eventually even my watered down, you know, lightweight drink that I'm drinking, even that eventually will start to wear me down, all right? So I'm a pretty cheap date half the time. I won't even lie. Actually, yeah, break that wall down. Okay, let's see here. I had actually intended to do my next section over the Gothic War. I was actually intending this to be, like, this campaign to be done, and then I would start the last Roman campaign, which is essentially the Gothic War. But that didn't happen, so we're just going to keep trying to finish this as much as I can until I finish the process, which is, it's going to be done soon. Because after the Gothic War, I'm done with the Western Roman Empire. I'm not going to be going any further than the Gothic War, because all the history past the Gothic War is dumb. And up until you hit, well, we could do the fall of the Eastern Roman Empire, but that's like 1,000 years worth of history, and even my patience has a limit. But yeah, so back to my my attention span is slowly falling throughout the night. Yeah, every Friday I do my Total War Attila campaign. Every Friday, because every Friday I do history, and so I'll do history over the thing that I'm playing in. So this will be obviously the Western Roman Empire. So I do history on the Western Roman Empire. When I do the Total War Rome 1, I'll be doing the Rise of the Roman Kingdoms, the Rise of the Roman Republic. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you can't tell now, you should be able to tell very soon that I am unable to speak. Then the fall into the Roman Empire, which I'm gonna do a hot take real quick. The Roman Empire was the beginning of the fall of Rome. Hey, that's fine, man. I will look. Don't ever come to my stream if you got something like that going on. Not because I don't want to congratulate you and be a part of something glorious, but because you got something better to do. Come on, man. Go, 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 go. I need y'all guys to rest for a little bit. Yeah, eventually I'm hoping to grow the channel, get more people involved, and we can do more community stuff. But right now we're just doing some bare bones talking, and just trying to get the channel to grow. So, and if you want to, you can join the Discord as well. The Discord is mostly just me and a few guys just screwing around half the time. We haven't really done anything serious with it just yet. I'm hoping to make it a more lively community so we can, if possible, play games with people. My end result, or my end goal for this is hopefully to build a community of people that want to play games together. Or at the very least, talk shop, you know, video games, media, that kind of stuff. But, I was talking about something a second. See, this is how fast it's fading. It's how fast I'm fading, guys. I'm sorry. I was talking about something 5 seconds ago, and I completely forgot what I was talking about. Apparently I didn't water down my drink hard enough. Oh. And this is why I don't drink straight up. Because I won't be able to handle it after a while. So one might say all of my Friday streams are drunk streams, but they're not. It just seems like that sometimes. I like how he says that, like just like this, that taste of disdain in his mouth. For the glory of God. Just sounds so angry. Oh man. Give me them Protect or Amagiri Defensores. Delicious. Sounds like a nice plate of sketty. Why are you just standing around? I told you to go kill things. Go. Go, 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 go. Can it? I don't know. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Somebody remind me what I was saying before I got caught off track again. Caught off track? Set off track. Oh my god. Before I got off track. There we go. There's the English language that I'm looking for. There's the language that I speak on a day-to-day basis that I should not be forgetting. Fokker, help me. What was I saying before I got cut off and before I blindsided myself with stupidity? Damn. Well, at least I'm consistent. That's how you know. That's how you know I'm really lost. Whenever I'm circling back to the fact that I'm circling back, when I'm circling back to the fact that I was circling back, when I'm circling back to the fact that I was circling back, yeah, that's how you know I'm screwed. That's how you know my mind is just completely and totally shot. I think I gotta make pancakes tomorrow for the family too. Or for, well, extended family. I got people coming over. So I'm really hoping this doesn't carry into tomorrow morning. Or, well, I guess later tomorrow morning. Today morning. Whatever. Oh, damn. Nah, man. Big old muscly bear that he was. Nah, man. You can't get over that. If you ain't crying yourself to sleep every night about that, man, I question your sanity, dude. Being held by them big, muscly bear arms. I mean, who wouldn't love that? I'm giving myself shivers. Sorry, it took me to laugh that loud into the microphone. Does that make me a bad person? Yeah, it kind of does. All right, let's get Mr. Honorius in here. Honorius, a completely useless. By the way, Honorius is the reason the West collapses. I'm just gonna throw it out there right now. Honorius sets the path, and the path is complete and utter destruction. He's the one that lets all the barbarians start settling into the territories, and it's just downhill from there. Okay, you guys keep going. He did kill Stilicho. You are correct. That's some good history. That is some great history. He killed him over jealousy. Just Valentinian wasn't much better when he killed Aetius. Was it Aetius? Oh my god. My history. Jeez, I'm so tired I can't even remember my history. Etius, yes, Etius. Or Etius or Atius, whatever you want to call him. Etius. Then Majorian was killed by his best friend, one of his friends. Also a barbarian. See, this is unfortunately whenever I start to, everything starts to fade and bleed. It's I can't keep track of it anymore. Especially because Romans tend to kill each other a lot. Like, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Romans killed each other a lot over really stupid crap. But I know Valentinian killed Etius, and then I know the guy that killed him had a really weird name. He sent Etius's bodyguards friends, soldiers. And I know that when they killed Valentinian, all the men that were standing there watching him die didn't do a darn thing to help him because they were all men under Etius. But I can't remember the guy that took his place. He was only emperor for like what, a month or 2 weeks. It was really, really short time. Jeez, like there was so many emperors that came and went so fast, like Glycarius and there's Glycarius, Nepos, Romulus Augustus. Yeah, pretty much everybody every Western Roman emperor except for like 1 or 2 dies of assassination, because why not? And, you know, tomorrow morning I could probably spout this crap off to you off the top of my head, but because it's late in the evening and I've had I am now at the end of my drink here. There's nothing left in there except for like a little bit. I no longer remember anything. My brain is slowly going. I don't even know. Can my legs work? I don't know. We'll find out. Well, I will. Y'all won't. Because I'm going to tell y'all. No, definitely they worked. But yeah, when I do the Gothic War section, I think that's what I was talking about. I was talking about the Gothic War section. Ha! I remember now. See? I'm not completely done yet. Maybe I can go a little longer. When I get to the Gothic War section, I'm probably going to change the schedule a little bit because there's just so much stuff to cover. Because unlike the rest of the Western Roman Empire, there's a lot of data that we actually... There's a lot of actual history we have. Unlike the rest of the Western Roman Empire, there's not a lot of information. We have some, but most of it's lost. But the Eastern Roman Empire, they documented everything, and since all those documents stayed in Constantinople, they had copies. So we have those books, we have those histories, we even have some of the battle tactics and the strategies that they used. We don't have that in the West. Now, we do know the battle strategy of the West because the West never learned anything beyond the founding of the Empire, which was incredible, but not in a good way. Oh, I got more Armagiris out here. Get those buggers up there. Yeah, I'm always happy to know that I've got Roman history files in here with me. That always makes me happy, knowing that there's other people out there as autistic as I am about Roman history. It makes me feel less like a weirdo. I'm not gonna lie. Just gonna throw that out there. Because like somebody will bring something up and I'll be like at work and I'll be like, oh yeah, no, that's this, like this is just like that, and that's just like this. Yeah, it happened to this guy too. And like, shut up. I take it back. Most people actually are interested because they're like, this is weird. And I was like, yeah, it's happened before. It can't be any weirder. Ooh. Oh, you know what I can't wait to get into? I can't wait into like the sexual fetishes of some of the Roman emperors. That's gonna be fun. Like Nero? Oh, Nero. Oh, Nero. Like what? That's a case only Freud could want to be a part of. Commodus as well. But Nero takes the cake for me. Nero is my be all end all. Caligula. We discussed Caligula. Caligula is fun. I like Caligula. He's one of my favorite emperors. He's pretty weird, and he's really bloodthirsty, but I like him. He's not crazy. Well, he's dead now, but he wasn't crazy, I don't think. That guy was just very manipulative. He knew exactly what he needed to do, and after he got sick, that's when he got really paranoid, because that's whenever he got actually met with his own mortality. That's what got him. I think that's what made him kind of go a little bit more bloodthirsty. Oh, and he's the first emperor that wanted to be deified before he died, which was weird because that was kind of a no-no anyway. He was just way ahead of his time.
The enemy's victory point is ours now.
But think about that, like your Roman emperors, no matter how bad they are, they're deified after they die. That's weird. Well, I think it's weird. But yeah, if y'all want to join the Discord, there's a link for it in down below. That way, you know, we mostly post memes and just talk about random crap there. There's no real preface to join it. You can just join it. We're still growing it. We're still trying to get people to join it. Yes, I took back Bertigala, finally. It's only been like 4 or 5 turns, but it feels like forever. Money. It's good to have it again. Then, snaps. Well, thank you for both for following as well. Mostly, if I'll change my schedule, I'll try to mostly post it in there. But I appreciate it. Thank you. I try to be as entertaining as I can. I try to be anyway. Some nights are better than others. I hope you all have a wonderful night. If y'all want to test the link, the last person that did it said the link didn't work, but the link should work. So please let me know real quick if it works. You can even just tell me if you got there, because I made sure that it was working, and somebody's like, I can't get there, it's not working. And I was like, oh my god, why is it not working? And I click on it, it works. He tells me it's not working. So I'm like, okay, hold on, something's broken, something's not right. So you just let me know real quick if it works. If not, that's fine too. We'll make it work. We'll fix it. We will fix it if we have to. That's right. I'm going to save this real quick because I already did this. I only got 3. I have 4 turns in the night. Jeez. Yeah, okay. By the time I'm done with this actual campaign, I'll be dead at the rate that I'm going. The Western Roman Empire sucks just to play as, because it takes forever to do anything. I keep rebuilding things. All right, anyway, I hope you all had a wonderful night. I did. I will see you all tomorrow. I don't quite know what we're going to be streaming tomorrow. If my stream buddies want to join, we're going to be playing probably Halo. We're going to pick up my Halo campaign. If not, then I'm probably going to pick up either my Rome Total War campaign or my Mountain Blade 2 campaign, where I am just now I'm just essentially trying to keep my kingdom alive. Or maybe I'll go back to XCOM. I haven't decided yet. We'll decide. Saturdays is a wild card day. We'll find out. I hope you all had a good night. See y'all later.